Good day, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
So, if you were expecting to see a slightly different runner and slightly different game here, some things happened. Some COVID-related things. There have been some schedule changes. So, just to give you a heads up on what's been shifted around, Final Fantasy VIII was supposed to be here right now. That's going to happen tomorrow on Stream 1 to replace FF7 since Matako sadly could not make it in time. Instead, what we're going to do on Stream 2 today is we are going to run FF5, and then afterwards Kaya, who's sitting behind me, is going to do FF13. So
Don't worry.
Guess since we have like a 4-minute cutscene at the start of this, let's just get into it without any further ado. 3, 2, 1, go.
You should introduce yourself during this cutscene.
Yeah, right. So I'm Mrzwanzig. Shoutouts to the organizers of the Final Fantasy Relay. So for those who are unaware, we run a somewhat yearly-ish relay race of the Final Fantasy series, and I've been practicing for that lately since it's going to be happening in August. And I was supposed to do like 4 finished practice runs before the end of August. They've extended it now, but whatever. But I've only actually finished 3 before ESA. So this will be my 4th. So
nice.
Shoutouts to Sereth, Maelstrom, and Christinarium. This will be it.
Yeah.
There you go. Next to me, I have my lovely fiancé Noctis. And on this side, I have Leonis.
And you may have seen us on the stream yesterday already for unplanned Persona 4 Golden commentary.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been some scrambling. It's,
At least this time we know a little bit more about what's gonna happen. Well, on my end,
I know about equally as much.
Yeah, on my end.
And this is the Hollow Knight. If you want us to pet the Hollow Knight, keep your donations coming. At 150k reached in this marathon, Edenal will shave his head.
Again.
Yeah, speaking of which, we can quickly read a donation. I think something came in the transition.
Janini Bean donated $25.
Thank you.
All right, excellent. All right, so Final Fantasy V is the game we're going to be running. This is a notoriously somewhat marathon unsafe-ish game. It's the nice thing about it is saving is really quick, so I'm going to be saving a lot. So that's the good part. The sad part is this run is very reliant on step route. If you're familiar with older Final Fantasy runs, that's a term you've probably heard before. If you're not, essentially we can manipulate what encounters we're going to be getting. If you start from a new game, you will always be on the same seed for encounters. And as long as my movement throughout the entire game is perfect, I will know exactly when I will get encounters and what those encounters will be.
And
however...
Sorry.
No, good.
We're using this to make sure that most of the encounters we would be getting are on the tile where the screen transition happens. And since the game can only process one of the 2 things, it will always be the screen transition. So we are basically minimizing encounters and are just getting good ones for us, and some are necessary for us.
Yeah, and every now and then we'll need a specific encounter to learn a blue magic, catch something with the Beastmaster, various things like that, or there's just to kill it to level up, stuff like that, and just generally getting fewer encounters is faster, fairly obvious there. This will require me to be basically perfect as I play through the game. If we lose it early on, we can expect to, versus a good run, lose maybe about 15-ish minutes. It kind of depends, because then you're going to be getting encounters actually randomly, and then it kind of depends when you have to get specific ones, how long it takes you to get them, stuff like that. So hopefully I keep it as long as possible. About the first hour and 20 minutes-ish of the run is the most important part for me to keep it. If we don't, we don't. Generally, the way the step route works is you, by default, just take the shortest path at all times. except when you specifically take extra steps in order to make the step right works. You know, I'm not that good at explaining the finer details of this. I don't route this game, I just run it.
Yeah.
Other greater minds than I have figured all this stuff out.
Yeah. So basically, overall, the step route is not that difficult to handle, but just a moment of being astray is so quickly happening. So we
I think I
have
already
to
messed up. I'm reasonably certain I just messed it up already.
That's what I'm saying when everything can happen so quickly. Like, even on the very simple kind of screen, you can still be unsure. Maybe he's onto the steps and he's just not.
I mean, I'm definitely not now.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I immediately threw it.
Okay.
I am here to remind him to not do dumb things, and I could not see this coming, so...
So basically, can we expect some hard resets at some point to just recalibrate the...
Genuinely, it would probably be better if I literally reset the run now.
Okay.
I mean, it is probably better than losing 20 minutes throughout the
You know
entire
what?
run.
Let's do that. let's just quickly. Let's watch that cutscene again because we didn't talk about it. What happened?
Yeah. Okay. Story-wise, Final Fantasy V, like most other Final.
And we're going.
No,
Sorry.
don't
you
reset
reset the timer
timer
too.
Yeah,
Well, it's too late now.
It's fine.
It's fine. We're going.
Yeah.
Should I reset again just so the timer's accurate? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
All right. Excellent. This is perfect.
We're ahead.
Yeah.
Complete clown fiesta. That's exactly what I expected this to be. All right. Next time I get there, I'm going to actually pay attention to what I'm doing.
Yes. Yeah, so FF5, like most other Final Fantasy games, has a story that we really don't care about in Speedrun.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Let me just quickly... I'm feeling a bit flustered about this first part. I'm just quickly going to actually look up the proper notes. Just because we have 4 minutes now.
Yeah, while Mrzwanzig is doing that...
this?
I don't know, Max.
Oh god, Max.
Escape? Yeah.
Wonderful.
Basically this game is just... There is an evil tree. And we killed the evil tree.
Yeah. Do we know that at the start?
No, but spoilers, I guess.
Spoilers.
The bad guy, who's a generic guy in an evil-looking suit of armor, is a tree.
He fused with a tree. Well, it's not that he fused with the tree. He was forced to be
a tree.
inside the tree, yeah.
It's not as symbiotic as, let's say, Rykard in Elden Ring, who fused with a snake on purpose. If you've seen that run, also was a DSA. But no, it's not symbiotic like Rykard. It's just kind of he was forced, and the tree is evil. So we're gonna burn down the tree and not save the environment. Basically.
And to make it sure, the very starter of that scenario is like, this person, this character, is the king of Tycoon. That's one of the kingdom that exists. And there are like 4 crystals related to an element throughout the whole world. And somehow, at some point, something happens with one of those elements, which is the wind. And we're going to try and investigate, and all the plot will start from there.
Yeah, and in this intro cutscene, you're just a bit introduced to all the characters we're gonna see throughout the run, like this character called Ferris.
Yeah, Ferris the pirate.
Galoof.
This is... question mark. Galoof.
Galoof.
It's honestly pretty impressive that I managed to literally mess up immediately.
I mean, I think I've done that like quite multiple times when I was trying to learn the run, so I wouldn't be hard on myself for that.
No. I'm allowed to be dunked on for that.
Okay.
That's
You're bad, and you should feel bad.
exactly.
Oh.
All right.
The Hollow
Just so
Knight
we got that out
is
of the way.
unhappy.
But look, now I'm just gonna do it perfectly the entire run.
Nice.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, so King Tycoon walks up to the wind crystal and he's like, oh no, it shattered.
Yep. Something bad's gonna happen.
Yes. If you've played any recent Final Fantasy, like, let's say, Strangers of Paradise, or other Final Fantasy games, the 4 crystals are a recurring theme in Final Fantasy games.
Yep.
And what we see here is Bart with his lovely trusty chocobo just camping in the woods with an open fire next to a dry tree that will probably set the entire forest on fire eventually, especially in this current weather.
Yeah.
Here in Sweden, it's been quite nice.
Yes, but everywhere else.
Yeah.
So are we calling the hero Bart or Butts?
Oh, yeah. Since this run got called in last minute, I don't actually have anything to name him.
We can name him ESA. Or we can name him Hollow, because we have the trusty Hollow Knight
Yep.
helping us.
Yeah, it's gonna give
today.
the good vibes.
Also, the meteor is very loud, as you can hear. It's during the run, usually, if you're watching this, people turn their sounds down. Pay attention, please.
That's what that's meant to look like. There you go. All right. So you can't actually get encounters while you're on the chocobo, but
it still advances the RNG, basically.
Yeah. It's one of only a few parts of the game where something like this happens. All right. Okay. Here we go. Now we've got our first fight, and well, we just hold A. This game is very. I guess it's X on my controller. It'd be A on an actual SNES controller.
Yeah.
So this game's quite nice in that it just lets you hold down the button, and it will just execute whatever command you're on. So that lets you just do frame perfect execution on fights a lot of the time. All right, so what are we naming him?
Hollow?
Hollow.
All right, let's go Hollow.
The Hollow Knight is...
You're
name
still
him
missing
B-Hollow.
a letter.
Muscle
BH.
memory.
Yeah, right, because normally I go back 3 because we name him B. Wait, do we have enough letters for this?
Yes,
we
we
do,
have.
just about. Perfect. All right.
Wonderful.
So this is another character that we are encountering, who's Lena. So far we don't know who she is, even if we have an idea because we saw her earlier.
In the opening cutscene.
Yep.
Worried about her father.
Her father.
Yeah, so they're just very confused because someone is calling for help and this huge meteor just crashed there and somehow it didn't mess up the entire environment around it.
Yeah. So this is Old Man.
Older man, definitely.
Old Man, yeah.
Not called Galoof.
Yep. Because he suddenly lost memory.
Amnesia, the classic plot. Even the game tells you at this point that he is named Galoof because
Yeah.
it's just inconvenient to not have a named character, I guess. But yeah, this game has great coding, as most of the original SNES Final Fantasy games have. They definitely don't have issues with memory on the flow or anything like that.
Yeah,
Not at all.
there'll be some glitches we'll be using to go a bit faster.
Yeah.
We will explain them once we get there, but essentially this game is pretty cool if you've never played it, because it gives you a lot of options. You have a lot of job options, and a very popular thing with this game is there's a so-called 4-job fiesta that happens once a year for a couple of months.
Currently ongoing,
Yeah,
I
it's
believe.
currently ongoing.
Currently ongoing, I think still until September or something. You can sign up via Twitter, essentially, and Twitterbot will give you a job that you need to use during your run. Which, essentially, there's so many jobs, and after every crystal you unlock a new jobs. So the Twitterbot will just give you a job after every crystal, basically, that you have to use for the end game and whatnot. So it's a cool mix-up once you've played the game casually once, or you just want to spice it up a bit.
So here we have some series of forced fight. Like even if Mrzwanzig wants it, he's not being able to escape those encounters. So
But they're fairly easy because they're just goblins.
yeah, you just hold A.
Yeah, this game starts off pretty easy. Like, I mean, I did, kind of do it silly immediately, but generally, for the most part, the game really gets tough around half an hour in. Main reason for that is right now we don't actually have the possibility to run, so our movement is pretty slow, which makes staying on step count pretty easy as long as you don't, just forget what you're doing. But who would do that?
Exactly. Who would do that?
But
never would happen in a marathon run.
No, absolutely. But after the Wind Shrine, which is the dungeon we're going to be going to in a little bit, we will get the ability to run only when we have a thief in our party. But we will basically be having a thief in our party at all times when we are moving around. Because running is fast, but also makes step count a lot harder than it would be otherwise.
Yeah.
While this cutscene is playing, I think we have time for a quick donation.
Shidohari donated $20. Because all marathon runs are wibbly wobbly timey wimmy things, that 5.5 minutes never happened.
No.
Unfortunately, it's also a fixed point, so it will live in the marathon outtakes reel for all time. Donation towards Runner's Choice, as consolation for the lost 5.5 minutes.
Wow. So generous.
You should put it towards the blind Esther thing.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say.
Yeah, so as we've said at the very start, Final Fantasy VIII was supposed to be on right now. It's been moved to Stream 1 tomorrow. And there's been some really cool donation incentives for that, including doing an entire 15-minute section of the game completely blindfolded, which involves fights, movement, and a really hard menu. So if you want to see that happen, you should definitely donate towards that.
Alright, meanwhile, I did some more extra movement. Yes, it looks like I'm spending a lot of time just walking back and forth, but trust me, this is all going to pay off in the long run. And I did a quick menu, setting up our just general options, battle speed, how the menus work, just some basic stuff. Alright, so we're going to see in a second whether my step count has been correct thus far. I'm going to get an encounter right here.
Nice.
Right. So that means that we're good. By the way, that's the only encounter we're going to get in this dungeon, and it's the only encounter in the game where we're going to have the possibility to get back attacked in the route. Later on, again, we're going to have a thief in our party pretty much at all times, and thieves also prevent back attacks, which is really important, because back attacks could be really dangerous if we had to actually deal with them. Quick steps here. Activate the button, and on we go.
Yeah, this is a bit unlike other Final Fantasy runs that have step count, where it's incredibly dangerous to lose your step count because you can get a pincer attack that you can't escape from.
Well, in the route, we can't actually get back attacks, because...
Yeah, but in FF5 in general, if you use a favor, you can't get back attacks. But let's say in Final Fantasy VII, for example, if you lose step count, you can get a really dangerous pincer attack.
Yeah.
And you just die.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
but hey, we're not doing 7.
Yeah.
We would be.
We would.
I mean, for this run, the only kind of mistake for the step count that comes to my mind is whenever we are going onto a certain forest to grind some levels, you can actually trigger the rare fights that you cannot flee from.
Yeah.
So that could be a very...
I mean, at that point, if you've lost step count, you typically just save, because else you're having a bad time.
Yep.
All right, so we need a ship to go over to the Wind Shrine where we're trying to get to. So and we find this convenient pirate ship, so we try to steal it, but unfortunately, the ship won't sail. This is because the wind has completely died, which is the whole reason why we're going to the Wind Shrine. Yeah. So I don't know how they thought this was going to work out for them, but
smart thinking.
Yeah.
And then the pirates show up, and now we get captured.
Yeah. Which is surprisingly, questionable, because that boat, they saw it coming back, sailing. So there's a trick to it, but what it is, we don't know yet.
Well, in theory, you can just paddle, right?
You can. It's a lot of effort.
That's what the Vikings did.
Yeah.
And they have enough people to do it, in theory. So now we're sad and captured.
Don't worry, though. We're going to be let out in a second because the pirate Captain Ferris realizes that they have a pendant that's very similar to that one of our characters has, and for their own reasons, they decide, you know what, we're just going to help them.
Yeah, because the pirates can't go pirating if there's no wind to sail. So.
Well, they can. They have a way.
Yes, but.
I guess there's not much pirating to be done when there's no other boats. Because there's no wind.
Exactly. If the East India Trading Company won't give Jack Sparrow his stuff.
I was waiting for it.
What is Jack Sparrow gonna do?
He's gonna take some more rum.
Where's the rum at?
Good question.
So we'll find out in a second now that the reason that this ship can sail without wind is because Ferris has a
Companion.
A companion.
A cute companion.
A cute companion.
Almost as cute as this knight that
Yeah.
I can pet if you donate. Like this. Because he's a good boy.
And this is the companion.
Wee wow.
Gonna hear that
A few times.
a few times.
Yeah.
This cute dragon is named Sildra, and Mrzwanzig refuses to put Sildra in a tier list, which I'm very disappointed by.
Alright, so right here, once I sail up this little bit, a crewmate is going to offer to sail us to the wind shrine. That way the movement is automatic, but he does a little animation of like jumping up and down and grabbing the steering wheel. I keep forgetting what you call that on a boat.
Steering wheel.
Steering wheel, yeah.
Sure.
The entire bit where the steering wheel is the helm.
Yep.
But the steering wheel itself is just a steering wheel.
Anyway, so we don't do that, we just go there ourselves. Anyway, we're in the wind shrine. Again, if I do everything right, we'll get no encounters there on the way to the boss. A couple of extra steps here.
So as you can see, the movement to a dungeon can be quite tricky because there are tiles that are like in front of a wall. You don't see it, but you can walk onto it, just like that. So it's very easy to mess up the step count if you aren't aware of that. And the invisible walls that you can see as a thief, I think.
Yeah.
But you can't see normally, but you just know they are there, so we are
I
taking
mean, we're gonna have
advantage.
a thief anyway
Yeah.
for other reasons. I don't
Exactly.
need to see them, but
So this is the first boss, Wing Raptor.
simple boss. We just make sure to have the best weapons we can on everybody and just attack him.
Yep.
Eventually, if you take long enough on this fight, he will like go into his shell and do the whole like classic Final Fantasy first boss thing of you're not supposed to attack me for a while now. But assuming all goes well, that shouldn't actually happen. He should die before that.
You're fine. Should be next turn.
Either he dies here or yeah. Okay. Wonderful.
So back in the days, when I took the route and I was trying to figure out what the step count was, after this fight, you would do a little back and forth because the tile that the boss was onto is a tile that doesn't count. Or something like that. I think there are tiles that...
Yes. Okay, so event tiles. Yeah, might as well explain those for a sec. Generally, any tile that is a tile that you can interact with something on, like a switch, or that that a cutscene can activate on, stuff like that, those don't count encounters. And the tile that you normally activate the boss fight on is one such tile. I actually need to make sure to avoid it on the way back for the step route.
Reminder to back row Lanka Ruins in your menu.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's all there.
Okay.
I've got my notes.
Yeah. So what we're doing is we're collecting the shards of the spirit, not spirit, crystal, my bad. And those unlock jobs for us, essentially.
Yeah, we're trying to not break the crystals, but essentially since they... Spoilers, most of these crystals, all of these crystals, they're gonna keep breaking, and since that's happening anyway, we might as well take their power for ourselves.
Yep.
Definitely altruistic. We're not the bad guys in this game.
No.
At all. We're never the bad guys in this game. Yeah, so what you just saw was King Tycoon, and Lena is calling him father. So she's essentially the princess. Well, yeah.
Yeah, we learned she was the princess of Tycoon earlier. Alright, so in a second we're going to do our first menu. We're going to set up 3 blue mages and a thief. Thief, again, for general utility. Like, thief really is the job that greases the gears of the whole run. It's never going to be useful in fights, except for a couple times where we steal something. But it just lets you do stuff like run around, okay, back attacks, all that stuff. That's really important. Anyway, let's quickly do this. Alright, and now, since we have a thief, we can run. So now movement is about to get a whole lot more difficult, so...
Yeah.
Let's see.
More speed, more care to have for the step route. So as you could see, the invisible wall that we had earlier was all with little white strides to make it to let us know that it was there and that we could go across it. So here the step count wants you to do that back and forth to trigger that fight, which is used for the blue mages to learn a very not important spell, but a very convenient one.
This is what you don't want to happen. You want them to attack a blue mage because they'll learn Goblin Punch, but they attack Lena, who's a thief.
The only character we don't want them to hit. Oh my god! Okay. That is incredibly unlucky. They have 3 characters they can hit with that. That would be good.
They hit butts.
Yeah, but it has to be Goblin Punch.
Yeah, it has to be the Goblin Punch. Because, so how the blue mage works is like, as long as one of those characters in a blue mage job, as long as one of these can learn the skill, all the other blue mages are gonna learn it as well.
Come on. Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah, so
now we can...
Goblin Punch is important because, as you can see here, it doesn't do a lot of damage to us. But if you're the same level as the thing you hit with Goblin Punch, it does incredible damage.
Yeah.
Alright.
We're gonna use that for a bunch of boss fights.
Yeah.
At least a boss fight.
There's a lot of spells we're gonna take advantage of for the sake of some battles.
It used to be a lot more. Nowadays it's not so much anymore.
Yep.
Like, this game has gotten rerouted a lot. It was at TSA 2016, if I remember correctly.
I think it's been at a more recent one with more or less the current route that I'm using.
Yes,
I think Bic. Yeah, I think so. I think Bic ran it one time.
Oh, yeah. And Boxmeister has done the S version in 2019?
GBA version, yeah.
Oh, GBA version. My bad.
Alright, we're in town here. We're gonna buy some stuff. Some spells. And now we're going to do the hardest part of the run, as I say every run, which is the movement here up to this Phoenix down.
Oh, yeah.
This doesn't actually matter. Since we can't get encounters in this town, it's not like the movement here, if I mess up, actually matters. But, like, look at this. It's, like, all diagonal, so you have to change direction like every other tile. That movement is actually, like, really hard. If we had to do step count here, I would be really scared about that part.
Yeah. And that's pretty much why nowadays the Pixel Remaster can't apply that kind of step route, because we can do the diagonal movement, and so far I didn't hear anything about a step route for the Pixel Remaster, so...
Yeah.
It also just depends on whether the way the encounters are determined still works the same way. Like getting the same seed at the start of a run always. All right.
Yeah. We haven't touched upon the combat in itself all that much. It is ATB based, like a lot of older Final Fantasy games. The exception, I think, until like FF10 is FF10 itself, which is completely turn-based with a hidden like agility modifier to determine turn order. This is ATB based, just like FF4, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Yep.
Which means you have this little bar filling up, and once it's filled up, you can do an action. The bar is obviously affected by other stats as well. And the bosses themselves also have ATB bars, so they cannot just infinitely hit you. Or the fights, not just bosses.
And depending on the options we're taking, we can have an ATB wait mode or an active mode. The main difference is like for active, the ATB can fill up for everyone and you cannot stop it. As for the wait one, as long as you are entering a menu for someone, you are just clogging, well, you're freezing the ATB for a moment until you have made your choice.
Yeah, this isn't terribly important in this game. There's no like wait tricking like there is in some games. But it's handy to have it on wait just so that, you know, you can select things at your leisure.
Yeah, if you're a beginner and you've never played this type of game before, you should put it on wait because it just gives you time to think and navigate the menu really.
Yeah, and it's nice for the speedrun just to make all our turns line up consistently as well.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Heading out of town now. And so we need to get out of this little starting area, so we need to get through the Torna Canal. The guy whose house we were just at gave us the key, so now we can head over there. And the captain is deserting her crew.
Yeah.
Maybe to touch upon the story a bit, Ferris is actually dressing up as a guy because she thinks no one would take her serious as a female pirate captain.
Yeah, we don't find that out until a bit, but that is indeed what is going on.
Yeah.
I mean, she has another secret, but for now we're gonna keep at that.
Yeah, we're not gonna reveal that now. It might have to do with the pendant.
Yeah, it's gonna happen soon at the very same time.
Yeah.
So.
So like I said, other than the whole Goblin Punch thing, which was it was on the scary side this time. I maybe actually should have picked up a safety potion in
the town.
In that town because I used 2. It should be. Not sure if it's fine actually. Because I need 2 for Galura.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I legitimately do need 2 potions, and I only have 1 currently. I'm not sure if you get another one. I don't think you do. I might quickly just hop back into town just to make absolutely sure. I might be able to buy it somewhere. Nah, you know what? We're just going. It's fine. I'll figure something out.
Yeah.
You should definitely save beforehand.
For this? No, this is fine.
No. Before
we get to Galura, yeah, absolutely. I was gonna do that either way.
Alright.
So on the screen you didn't come across the door on the left side. Is there a reason for that? Could you go open the door on the left side and on the right side?
I could, but I have to make sure to still hit the tile before it on the right anyway, because that's another event tile.
Nice. So you're meant to have like 3 encounters along the way before...
I also can't heal up Ferris now, because I'm... Well, no,
Can you not with the white mage?
I don't...
Skill?
Well, I guess I could, but... I don't know what we'll do. We'll figure something out. I'll just do whatever comes to mind in the moment.
Yeah. So that's a quick menu because the boss is gonna appear, and we're gonna take advantage of the black mage job to make it work.
You know what? Let's
heal real quick.
Seeing. Yeah. Let's.
I mean, thankfully, nothing that is happening in the menu is affecting the step count, so you can do whatever you want within that menu.
That might actually be a problem because she might not have enough MP to do stuff in the fight now. But
yeah.
I don't know. I don't want bad stuff to happen. So. Just quickly scrolling through the notes, seeing if I get another guaranteed potion somewhere as a drop or something. No, doesn't look like it. Okay.
Isn't one of the fights before Galura potentially giving you some potions?
No. There's no fights we've actually fight there.
Okay.
I really should have picked it up in town, but it's fine.
Yes, we're getting sucked into this vortex, and there's another boss, and it is
The giant crab.
it's a crab. So what we're gonna do is just electrocute it.
Yeah. So basically, for if really we would have wanted something that is convenient, it would have been to be paralyzed on the character that is low on magic, so we don't like waste any more MP, but unfortunately it was on Galoo.
Yeah, see, she doesn't have MP now.
Yeah.
This is going to be slow now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's my bad.
And basically we are using the bolt because Calabos is obviously a sea monster, so naturally
It's weak to electricity.
weak to electricity, yeah.
Okay, we're good.
Just
Nice.
like in Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, both games are practically like from the same year, or like this one is from
Yeah.
1992. Pokemon is like slightly after.
Yeah, Pokemon copied Final Fantasy V. Now we see Sildra is stuck in the vortex and doing sad noises. No. Ferris is about to go after Sildra, but
Yeah.
we're just gonna watch it die here. Or are we?
Another tearing scream.
I think what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to buy an extra potion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
you
be
might
in a
as well.
town soon where I can do that. That should be fine.
Do you have enough money?
Potions are cheap, right?
They should be.
They should be, but
If there's other backups we need to do later, we'll figure it
Yeah.
out.
yeah. So we think Sildra is dead now, and there's still the problem of the wind crystal being
Mhm.
shattered, so
Can't sail.
can't sail on.
Yep, so we end up just kind of marooning and ending up in this place called the Ship Graveyard, which is going to be our first really tough dungeon for movement, because we had the fast movement for that little canal bit, but the movement there is really easy. Here, it's actually going to be hard.
Yeah.
And we can run now, so it's, yeah. So this is going to be focus time for me once this cutscene is over.
Yeah. So after a very long time, we actually arrive at the ship graveyard after just drifting in the ocean.
Yeah.
There's a lot of broken ships here.
And we're learning that it's the home of the undead, so we're gonna have to pay extra care for it. So this is the very first instance of having a thief in the party to make sure that we can flee if we are in a pinch. So that was extra movement for the step count because it's still advancing in this area. It's considered like just a map, another map, not just a location, just like a town. So here, Faris is gonna tell us that we can actually go underwater. So we are very good at keeping our breath.
Yeah, we're Tiros from FF10.
Yeah. So this is a gearbox that is not really like visible, but as you can interact with.
Oh wait, this is
the
a
background.
potion.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I normally don't pick that one up. Okay, we're good.
Oh, nice.
Good.
See? I knew
There
what I
you
was
go.
doing
Yeah.
all along.
Planned, executed.
I totally forgot about that chest until I was right in front of it, and I was
Yeah.
like, wait, I could just do this. Alright.
So this is where the party members are allowing themselves a little break because obviously they went underwater, so they are all wet, so they need a moment to just dry up. And Lena obviously went to a room because she is a girl. And Faris is still with the boys, but somehow there's something tricky about her. Well,
They
At the
try
moment,
to undress
Yeah.
Ferris.
Which is a little bit of a weird thing to do, let's be honest. Even if they thought it was a guy.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
And it's a life or death situation. because they don't want Ferris to.
And
die
so,
of cold.
yeah, and so Galuf has this interesting line, which is, "Oh, I knew there was a trick because you were too beautiful to be a man." So,
It's,
the eternal seductor.
Men can be beautiful too.
Yeah,
Men
that's a thing.
Men also need to be complimented.
Yeah.
Like everyone who has a boyfriend, or if you're trying to land a boyfriend, regardless of your gender, do not miss complimenting.
Yeah. Do not
them.
restrain yourself.
Yeah.
life advice right here. All right, more movement. I'm gonna quickly save.
Is it affecting the step count?
No.
Saving?
Oh. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
That would be terrible.
Yeah, I know.
As long as I'm not having to like walk to a
Mhm.
save point in an area that counts steps. The saving itself does nothing.
Yeah. So all this movement just led to that location, opening that chest because it's an interrupter. Well, it's a switch, most
Yeah.
likely. And the jump over the rocks are doing automatically. You don't have to do an extra button push for
Yeah.
that to happen.
You just hold up.
Mm.
But so you may or may not have noticed I got 0 encounters in this entire dungeon. So that's the power of the step route right there.
Yeah, because every time we would get an encounter, it was just a door transition.
It's all about lining the tiles in a way that you are getting the encounter tile onto a transition screen, which is not happening.
So I believe you kind of explained the way Goblin Punch worked when we got it.
Yeah.
But just to quickly go over it again, it's a blue magic skill that deals 8 times damage if you are the same level as your target. And we've leveled everybody up to level 2. Siren, the boss we're about to fight, is also level 2. So we're going to go do numbers on her.
Yeah.
So what you see here is like, oh, there's like, you know, dead people appearing for everyone,
Yeah.
like King Tycoon and whatnot. And it is actually the work of Siren, but someone appeared in front of Galuf, and Galuf doesn't remember because he has memory loss.
I think this is a really clever part,
Yeah.
like playing with the amnesia trope to be like, well, your illusion doesn't work. I don't know who that is.
And he just slaps
Slaps.
everyone else awake.
One more.
Very good sound effect for that.
True.
So for those who wanted to know, so the characters that just appeared from the Realm of the Dead was, for Bart was his mom, for Galuf was his granddaughter, and for Faris and Lena, surprisingly, the King Tycoon appeared.
Oh boy, bad RNG. Let's go. So haste is what you don't want her to do.
Yeah.
That means she is going to get a 3rd turn. So there's a fairly high potential she's going to kill someone.
Yeah, but also as
Or
you
you
can
might
see,
be... Yeah.
sorry, we're doing a ton of damage
Mhm.
compared to what we did on those goblins.
Okay,
Well-
Cure is good.
Yeah, Cure is good. Silence? Maybe? Armor. Okay.
Okay, yeah, that means I need to do 3 Goblin Punches kills now, right? Yeah, should do.
Yeah, so armor halves the physical damage that she's getting, roughly.
And she is dead.
Great.
There we go.
Wonderful.
All right. Yeah. On both the 2nd and 3rd turns, she had a 1 in 3 chance of choosing a spell that kills a character,
Mhm.
which would be awkward potentially. But all good.
And we're back onto the world map. So here the step count still goes on. So Mrzwanzig is gonna make extra care to save onto spots that are normally located before an encounter. And by going into the menu and going out, it's skipping the tile that you are supposed to go to get the encounter, just like he did right now.
Yeah, pausing does weird things, essentially.
Yeah, reminder to save somewhere on the world map.
I just did.
I didn't pay attention.
And that's
Although
how
I
you
probably
get no
should have done it
encounter.
before the actual dungeon. but,
Yeah.
Fine.
So yeah, basically pausing the game is just advancing still the RNG, but still since you're not on the tile itself, it's just completely skipped.
At this town we don't need to go to at all for the story, but I went in there just to get an ice rod,
Mhm.
which is going to be instrumental in just a second.
Yep.
Yeah, this is also just abusing the same thing that we did with the door transitions and other transitions. instead of transitioning, you're just opening the menu, and the game can only do one thing at once, so it just opens the menu instead of giving you an encounter.
Alright, so to keep making use of that Goblin Punch for another fight later, we're going to need to level up everyone up to level 3. So we're going to do that on the encounter right here in just a second. There it is.
So this is where the step count is very important, because you could get some other monsters on that fight which could be like a little bit more difficult to deal with at low level, but these ones are very easy to deal with because they are naturally weak to fire. And level 3.
Alright, it's going to be a lot of extra movement here before the end of the dungeon, so don't worry about it. It's going to look real weird. You're going to be like, why is this faster? But all the encounters, they add up to so much in the long run, so doing all this stuff is just faster. And now we're going to get poisoned. There we go.
Headphone users alert.
Yeah, if you hate this effect, then I'm sorry. You're gonna have to deal with it for a good long while, actually. Being poisoned is actually invaluable setup for the boss coming up after this one. So poison constantly damages you on the overworld, and we want. But it won't actually kill your characters, and we want everybody to be at very low HP for the next boss after this one.
So here you think that Faris just fell down to her demise, but no, she's a very strong female, and she can do rock climbing.
She don't need no man.
Oh yes, she sure doesn't.
Alright, so remember that ice rod we picked up? We're about to make use of that. Throwing rods with mage characters is incredibly powerful in this game. She is going to get a turn before we get to a mage, though, and she's going to kill someone who we then need to revive. And now we need to do something very strange. Hey, this... No, mine... Oh, that needs to be... There. Go. So again, it's vital that all our characters are at low HP going into the next dungeon. And unfortunately, when you use a Phoenix Down on a character, it doesn't actually revive them in critical HP. So we have to equip a weaker weapon onto Lena and hit them into that range again.
Yeah, and another detrimental thing that just happened is like, since Mrzwanzig used the ice rod, you are breaking the rod whenever you use it. You use it as an item from the inventory, so you would have to buy another one or get another one to have this effect again.
Yeah, all of our early game money is essentially going to be spent on these rods. They're reasonably expensive, but I mean, you saw the power. It one-shot the boss, so it's totally worth it. Could you open this for me? Yes. Thank you.
You're gonna hear a nice sound on stream now.
That was beautiful.
ASMR right there. Right, so the whole purpose of that location is to retrieve one of those flowers that are supposedly like vital for the dragons, and it's also curing the poison, or the dragon can cure the poison by just getting it, eating it, something like that.
Yeah. Now we're just flying on the dragon. And Ferris wanted to get this plant for Sildra, I'm assuming?
Yep.
We get cool music.
Again, like, I'm sorry about this the screen effect. You're gonna have to bear with it for like a couple of dungeons, unfortunately. So now we arrive at the town that is drawing energy from one of the other crystals, and we're telling him, hey, you should probably stop doing that. The crystals, they're like weakening, it's gonna shatter. And before anything can be decided, another meteor starts crashing down. Be careful here, headphone users, these are pretty loud.
Yeah, typically in chat it's loud noises.
Loud noises. Alright. Once we get out, I'm quickly going to do another menu to set up some thieves, because we're going to try to steal a mithril sword, which will help with the next boss.
Are you going for just one or more?
Just one.
Okay.
Honestly, it would be convenient if we just stuck to this dragon.
Yep.
But we won't.
Alright, we might not get this mithril sword steal, but if we don't, there's backups.
And those...
Here we go.
Ah,
Nice.
first turn, nice.
Easy every time.
Easy every time.
Alright.
So still making sure that the step count is up, because it's very easy to just miss one step, or just doing an extra step towards a location that is not needed.
We're doing good, though.
Yeah.
As we said, it's mostly important for like the first third or so of the run. Up to a certain point, and after that it's not terrible if we lose it, but it would be good if we didn't.
So here we're gonna have another menu with the appearance of another job, which is the knight.
This is why I wanted those 2 potions, by the way.
Yep. So the importance of having had poison all this time is to make sure that all the other characters except Faris are in a critical HP position. And what the knight does in fight is like, he's gonna cover, thanks to the command with the same name.
As you just saw.
Yeah. He's gonna cover
wait,
for those in critical HP, meaning that we have some leeway within the fight to defend and let all the other characters to just throw something. And Goblin Punch is still the main spell that we are
Bartz's
using.
is going to be even stronger here because he has the mithril sword.
Yeah.
So we're already at the point now where another Goblin Punch from Bartz is going to finish the fight.
And as you could see, Faris just blocks everything to 0 because she has equipment and defending.
Yeah, she's guarding, so everything just hits her for nothing.
Yeah, the Knight is honestly kind of an OP job. Any enemy that only uses physical attacks is just completely negated by having a Knight and all your other characters in critical HP. That's just, like, they can't do anything.
So all along these fights, we probably didn't talk about it because it's obvious for us, but for the results of a battle, you are gaining money, you're getting experience, and you're also gaining ability points, which are essential to learn stuff from the job that you are currently using. And learning those abilities, those spells, can be transferred to another job as long as you have the command for it.
Also, look at this guy dying in front of the door. Very inconvenient.
That's fine, we'll get another exit.
It's still very inconvenient.
Yeah.
He just walked and then died in front of the door. But yeah, now we're picking up all these crystal pieces again, and they give us more jobs.
Yep.
Of which we're only gonna use a few during the run in itself.
Berserker, we're
Berserker.
totally going to use that, right?
That's one job that everyone doing the 4-job fiesta is kinda like
Scared.
afraid of, because so the gimmick behind the Berserker is like it's constantly under the status ailment Fury, which Berserk, and that makes you only attack. It raises the power, but it only makes you attack, so you're very reliant on.
Yeah, and you cannot like target anything.
Yeah.
It just happens automatically.
Yeah,
the Berserker will just attack. Look, it's Sildra.
Again.
Survived.
Yay!
Yay.
And she's eating us?
Yep.
Wow, rude. But I thought we were brothers.
Well, sisters, I would assume. Because
Yeah.
I think Sildra is female.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, the very first time Faris introduces us to Sildra, she said, we are basically brothers. So
I mean,
now we know the true identity. Yeah, we can say sisters, I guess. Unless Sildra is just genderless, so it could be anything.
Who knows?
it's like Shenlong from Dragon Ball.
Something that I haven't been explaining because it's really non-obvious. Honestly, you don't even really need to know it, but there's a subtle difference in the pausing on the world map. You can either do a regular pause when you're standing still, or you can buffer the opening the menu input during a step. That second one is called a half step. It's a bit of a weird turn, honestly, because it is actually just not counted as a step at all. So if you do that, then you just eat one of your steps effectively.
Sildra.
Oh yeah, Sildra's dead.
So the half steps are basically also a way for you to go back on track to the steps if you are missing like 1 or 2 steps.
Yes, if you happen to be behind but haven't gotten an extra encounter yet, you can save yourself by doing extra half steps. That can save you sometimes. Otherwise, in dungeons, it's just trying to cut out extra movement if you're behind, and if there's no extra movement to cut out and you get an extra encounter, then it's rip step count.
Yep.
Yeah, so story-wise, the soldier who very inconveniently died in front of the door addressed Galoof as Sir Galoof, and he still doesn't have his memories, so he's not... Like, the soldier basically died before he could reveal anything else, which is very inconvenient, or... very convenient to the plot, but very inconvenient for Galoof, who wants to remember who he is.
And luckily, we just investigated the other meteor that just dropped, and we found an entrance, and within that rock was a teleporter. Shocker. And so we used it, and we are now on a very other side of the map.
With no dragon to ride anymore.
Yeah.
Should have taken it with us.
So the poison is gonna still be in effect for a little longer.
Black Mage. And save. Alright. Time to do some shopping. As I mentioned earlier, our early game money is pretty much going towards buying rods because they're really OP.
Also, this town is on fire.
Yep.
Sell that, yes. One of those, that, all those, and all this stuff down here.
And it's very important not to sell all the broadswords because one of them is going to be useful for something later.
Yeah, it's crucial.
Yeah.
We keep that.
And so the gimmick that's happening in that town is like, we are trying to buy a rod, but we are arrested because it's suspicious. But what the game doesn't tell you is like, that rod you just tried to buy but got denied is actually inside your inventory. It counted as getting one.
Yeah, we actually get it. And right there at when you first get to the town there, all the items in the shop are at a reduced price. Kind of, I guess, to entice you into buying something and then getting that cutscene. So, yeah, if I accidentally... It also triggers the cutscene if you exit out of the menu. So if I accidentally press like B1 too many times, then I'm really kind of screwed because then I don't get the item at the reduced price.
Just casually tear down a wall.
Yeah.
Poor Sid here. He's trapped in this cell and he has dynamite with him somehow. He manages to blow up the wall into another cell.
Yep.
You'd think he would have just blown up the door.
Yeah.
But what do I know?
Yeah, but then he's gonna get blocked by the other blocked door, so...
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Rather take your 50-50 chance than your 0%. Anyway, we have time for a quick donation.
Tomaine donated $5. $5 for the 5th Final Fantasy and Pats for Hollow Knight covering the runners and commentary from physical attacks.
Yay, that's our personal night.
Yes.
It works too, because we're 3 people, and then the 4th party member is the...
Exactly.
Yeah.
All planned. Right, so we didn't mention, but this is Sid, the infamous character that comes into every kind of Final Fantasy, which is...
There's a few where there's no Sid.
Which one are you thinking about?
original FF1, I guess.
Well, he's not physically present, but he's actually like within the lines of the game because Sid of Lufane in FF1 is the one who created the airship and manipulating the Levistones.
Yeah, that's only in the remakes though.
Yeah. In the original FF1.
Yeah, you
not
don't
so
know
much.
that. You just know it thanks to Dissidia.
Yeah, and like a lot of the spin-offs don't have a Sid.
Yeah, true.
Like, for example, I think 13.2 and Lightning Returns both don't have Sid because Sid Reigns is dead at that point.
Exactly.
You will hear about Sid Reigns later on. He's he has a cool cape.
Yeah.
All right, so this area is weird. Since we are going to be going through this area again later, and there will be encounters then, it actually has this part coded to count steps even now, even though we can't actually get encounters. So I do need to be precise here. It's short and easy, so it's not really a problem usually.
Oh,
And
no.
even if you make a mistake, you can immediately fix it on the world map. But it's something to keep in mind that steps are counted here.
The werewolf.
Suddenly appearing. Ooh.
Wait up, Jacob.
Alright, we're going to go back into town here before heading to the dungeon because we need more of those rods. We got one at a reduced price, but we need some more. So, 2 more ice rods and 2 thunder rods. And now we are all good to head into the next dungeon, which is the steamship. So the crystal here is about to go haywire as well. It's contained within this ship that is sucking the power out of it, and we gotta go stop it, so let's go.
Also, just to say some stuff, the music in Final Fantasy is generally great. This game has some of the best soundtracks of Final Fantasy games, I think. Final Fantasy VIII still my favorite, probably, in terms of soundtrack. But yeah, as the same with other dungeons, we're taking a lot of like extra steps here, where you may be wondering, oh, why is it faster to take these steps? But it is just faster in the long run.
And again, we're not going to get any encounters in this whole dungeon, except one toward the end that will kill for experience. Just being a bit careful on that screen there.
Yeah. One too many steps is easily happening, so...
If you're here for the very first time as a casual player, you're gonna be like, what is going on? Where do I need to go? I really didn't like the section casually.
Especially with all those elevators going everywhere.
Yeah.
And this section
And those
here.
types.
Oh my god. If you don't know where you're going here, you're just gonna do it over and over and over, and sometimes you just end up at the same goddamn place.
Let's do a save. I don't really need to, but why not?
You should, yeah. Just, I mean, it takes 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So.
This room is very involved because every tile next to a switch is counted as an event tile, so I need to move them in a very particular way. And then if we're all good, then we get an encounter right here. Perfect.
Shadows. Oh, crew dust. And as you can see, the rods thrown by a mage can do crazy damage.
Yeah, but also they're expensive and then they shatter.
Yes.
And for now, our pocket money is not that much. For now.
For now. Alright, so quick menu. So this is supposedly the Queen of Karnak,
Except
it's not.
I mean, it is, but she's being possessed.
Yeah.
And this boss is one of the more RNG-ish bosses that can slow the fight, because it has different forms it can take.
Yeah,
Has-
it's going to counter our first ice rod. We actually need 2 to kill this boss, and it's going to now turn into either its tornado form or its hand form. We hope to see tornado. Let's
and
go.
yeah, that's a 50-50, so...
Yeah.
So in case we got to encounter the hand, it's impervious to magic, so we would have to wait until the hand just retransform into the liquid flame.
Yeah, you don't actually wait. You hit it to trigger it, and then it also does a counter that kills a character. So then you have to. It's a bit messy. But
Yeah.
luckily, we got
didn't
tornado this
yeah.
time, so no problems. Really easy fight.
Yeah, so she's talking about the fire crystal as she dies, I guess. She's also dead now. Everyone in this game.
I don't remember if she's dying or just fainting.
Yeah, I'm assuming she's dead. The body count in this game is insane. Like everybody's dying all the time.
Sure. Wow. Especially in that screen.
So there's the fire crystal, and just as with the other crystal, it goes kapoof.
But first we are encountering that said werewolf from earlier.
Who also knows Galoof.
Galoof. Who's saying he's not an enemy? I wonder why.
Is it Jacob from Twilight?
Please.
Just wait, he's gonna take off his shirt now.
All right, this is another section coming up that is kind of important to be on step route for. It's pretty short. We're gonna run through that Karnak Castle section again, except this time there's encounters. You're even without step route, you're pretty likely to not get any encounters, and one of the possible encounters you get, it does nothing. It literally like runs away from you immediately. But any encounters you do get into, you can't actually escape from. So there is an encounter you can get that you then actually have to deal with. So you have to do some setup to make sure you can actually kill it. Not a problem for us. We're on step count, so we're gonna get none. Unless I mess up in the dungeon. Although, I think even in that case, you have some leeway here.
And we fall.
Yeah, and the werewolf, who knows Galoof and hasn't told him anything yet, is trying to save the crystal, but that also, of course, doesn't work. So it just shatters.
Yeah.
Like the others.
And conveniently, we are just falling through the steamship and just reappearing inside the castle.
Yeah, how does that work?
I don't know.
How is it? Because we went into a ship, and then it's connected, I guess, through the pipes to the castle, but then we went down to fall into the... I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somehow we got...
we fall into the dungeon, so I guess it makes some sense.
Oh, yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
That's my bad.
So Jacob died to the flames.
F.
Another dead body.
Yeah, like I said, man, everybody just keeps dying all the time in this game.
Yeah.
All right, so if you were being really annoyed by that horrible poison screen effect, worry no more. We're going to heal it right here, because there's a convenient healing pot here. I accidentally talked to it twice, but no worries.
Saving for safety measures.
Yeah, there is a timer running, but that
Don't worry about it.
Not tight at all.
No.
For us.
Really, the timer is there. You can get like loads of treasures here, and a lot of the chests are like guarded by enemies, so it's actually quite tough to like get everything here within the time limit. Strangely, apparently this character being not on fire is a sign that it's going to explode.
Did you put Ferris to feet?
No, I didn't, but I don't need to because I'm on step route.
Right.
So literally we have 10 minutes to rob the castle from its money. So, yay. Encounter.
Right. Yes, Thunder Rod.
Killing everyone but the sergeant. And now it's off.
That guy's actually supposed to like transform into another form where it reveals he is a bounty hunter called Iron Claw. It's really random.
Yeah.
But we don't even see that because we kill him so fast he doesn't get the time to do it.
So the castle is exploding due to the steamship being under control of the fire, and we are getting a little bit of a grab of all the crystals that were originally in the room where the werewolf just sacrificed, but we don't get all the crystal yet. We are meant to get them somewhere else for the others.
We do get, very importantly, the ninja
Yeah.
here, which is going to be pretty instrumental coming up soon. Not quite in the next dungeon yet, but after that, they're going to take over the run for a little while. All right, so we ran out of rods, so we need to go get more.
That's why we got all the money treasures from the castle for free.
2 of these, right? Yes. And then 2 fire, just making absolutely sure I don't mess this up. And I want a kunai. Okay. All good.
So luckily we had the free money. We also had the fire bow that the liquid flame just dropped for us, so it was a nice source of money. So which spell did you buy?
Life.
Oh. Finally having a mean to resurrect characters.
Other than Phoenix Downs.
Yeah. So this section can be also tricky if you're not like very accustomed with the map, because those spots where Mrzwanzig is just pausing are very specific.
Another save. By the way, if I ever mess up and have to load a save, we're in trouble, because that also just kills the step count.
I mean, again, we're almost at the point where it's not terrible anymore if you lose it.
Yeah, this is the last dungeon before like the main check for having step count.
So this dungeon used to be different in older routes a bit, because in older routes we used Blue Mage a lot more than we use nowadays. And in this dungeon you can get a really good blue magic called level 5 Death. Which is really good, because it just instantly kills everything that is a multiplier of level 5.
So this is Ifrit, a demon from one of the book of the place. So we're using naturally ice rods because weak to ice.
In theory it would be weak to water, but you know, there's no water in this game, so...
By the way, sometimes you see me just kind of like during fights when nothing is actually going on, you see me just kind of mess around with my inventory just to set up stuff so that I know where everything is.
Yeah. It's going to be important for the fight that comes up.
Yeah, it's going to be more important like also later in the run when we do a lot of mixing with chemists, so all our items being like in convenient places is pretty important just to just go fast.
Yeah. But as you're running to the boss.
Right,
So yeah, this blocked our way, but then it saw Ifrit, and Ifrit is a fire thing, and the bookshelf is a book, and paper is weak to fire. Let's just say that. So they're very afraid of Ifrit. So it just conveniently lets us through.
Okay, encounter. So this one is gonna be lead. Yep.
Yeah, it's just a forced encounter.
Yeah.
Can't avoid that.
So this was page 32, and as Noctis said, if you were encountering, like as per casual play, another kind of book, there would be a head coming up, and this is the one that makes you teach Death level 5.
So this is the actual boss of this area.
Bedlos.
He is also a book, so we're just gonna burn him to death with fire rods.
Luck has
Good job.
been really solid this run,
Yeah.
other than the Goblin Punch being kind of troll. We've been, like, none of these bosses are killing characters, stuff like that. It's all been pretty good.
Yeah. So fun fact, if you don't have any fire rods for this boss, you can use Ifrit. You can summon him, and Biblos will not attack you for 2 or 3 turns because he's so scared of Ifrit.
Yep.
Alright, now we're going to do some setup for our first major glitch of the run.
Which is a very important mechanic to exploit whenever you know it.
Yeah, we were at the very start we were talking about how this game is super well coded, just like all the other NES and SNES Final Fantasy games.
So this is an enemy that we want. So basically what Mrzwanzig did is like equipping from the inventory a weapon onto a character slot, and with the ninja he tried to throw that previous item that was in the inventory, but because that item is not in the inventory anymore, it considers that the item is on 0, which is underflowing for some reason. And since we are underflowing a bit, now we just need to retrieve an item that will go onto the place in the inventory, which was the place of the weapon before.
But because we throw 0 of it, we now have -1, which makes it 255.
Which is the magic number.
Yeah. So we just underflowed that ether steel. It took me a little bit to get it, but we now have 255 ethers, and the ethers are expensive in this game, so we effectively have a ton of money now.
Yep.
Yep. Which we're gonna use to buy more rods for now, and scrolls, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, no more rods actually. We're done with
Scrolls?
rods.
Okay, just scrolls now, and later on in the game, we're just gonna plainly throw money at enemies.
Yeah, we just eventually right now we're buying all these items with money. Later on, we're just gonna cut out the middleman and just throw the money straight at the enemies.
Very hard. Because it's basically like the whole saying, oh, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but honestly, an apple a day keeps everyone away if you just throw it hard enough. And that's what we're gonna do.
True.
Okay, another quick menu here. I'm actually setting everybody into the front row because being in the front row actually speeds up animations. Because the characters have to like walk forward a little bit whenever they do anything, and they have to walk less forward if they're in the front row.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a weird mechanic here. Okay, so this is an encounter where we want to catch something with our... Okay, good damage roll.
So we're using the tamer, or the beastmaster, to catch an enemy. So whenever you catch an enemy, you're not really catching the enemy per se. It's not gonna fight for you. It's just that whenever you release it, it's gonna use their signature move. And I think this enemy is using something like rot or something. It's depleting the HPs until 1 or something.
Yeah, it's in a status condition called sap.
Yeah,
it's essentially,
sap.
as far as I'm aware, more or less the same as poison. There's probably subtle differences, but genuinely, I don't know the inner mechanics of this game all that well. I just follow the route.
Yeah, same.
So yeah, Zap is important for an upcoming boss that we will get to and explain why it is important. But just know, it is a setup for a boss that is coming up soon.
Yeah, in a little bit. Good news is we've just gotten through our last dungeon before like I said, the big check for whether we're on step route. Once we're done with the cutscenes here, we are going to do a bit of sailing. The sailing is pretty easy. And after that, there's going to be a big shop with all that newly acquired money that we got in a totally legit way. And then we're going to do our little farming section in World 1, which is the part that you really want to be on step count for.
Yeah. So thanks to all the reroutings that have been done throughout the years, so the sailing boat is easy now, but it used to be a little bit finicky back in the days because you had to stop for a little to grind an encounter and then take the boat again and then just complete the location. So it was like a very focused
you had to be
Yeah.
exact with the step route while you're sailing. Right now, I tend to still play it quite safe and try to do it exactly the same every time, just for consistency's sake, and so nothing weird happens. But even if I mess up, it should be fine.
Yeah. But the reason why we really want to be on step route for the grind that is coming up is if we're not, we can actually encounter an encounter that is not escapable.
No, it's escapable.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, you can run from Ramu. It's
Okay.
it's just annoying because
Yeah.
he keeps popping up and playing the boss music.
Yeah.
And then you're like, no, not right now, Ramu.
Please go away on
Please
the
go
man.
away.
If you're an avid Final Fantasy fan and if you never played this, obviously there's summons in this game too, like Ramu, Ifrit,
Shiva.
Shiva at least. I don't know even what else. A few
Well-
of them.
Sildra.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
So something that we saw happen back there with Sid and his grandson Mid triggered something in Galoof's memories, and he is starting to remember that he is actually from a different world.
Isekai.
Yes.
What could be the full title for Galuf?
That time,
I was a king. That time I was a king, but I went onto a meteor.
that time a meteor strike caused me amnesia and I got eaten by a dragon.
Yeah, that could be it.
That time I slapped people in the face because I saw a random girl appear and everyone else fell asleep.
Yeah.
Something
That
like
time I was trying to flirt with a pirate.
So he and 3 other people previously gathered to seal the Dark Mage X-Death inside this other world. Well, this being our world.
Mm-hmm. The Warriors of Dawn.
Which is very inconvenient for us because now X-Death is kind of here in our world.
Yeah, and there's only one crystal left keeping him imprisoned right now, so probably should get on that.
Yep. But the werewolf was one of them, essentially, and he died. I have another really good title for Galoof, but it's spoilery, so I'm just gonna say it after the big thing happens.
Yeah.
If you remind me of it. But yeah. My Isekai adventure to Tree. Something like that.
A good one.
I mean, the thing is with Isekai, either they're like very on the nose or they're just very, very long titles. Right?
Yeah.
Alright, on we go. Sailing time.
Sailing time. Even though the wind crystal is still dead.
We're gonna have this
Yeah.
boat for approximately a minute. So enjoy it.
And yeah, so while this section is now easy to go with the current route, so back in the days, the main thing that you had to understand is like part of this sea world doesn't have any encounter, but once you go past a certain line, which is after this island, you can get encounters. That's where you had to line yourself to make sure that you could get an encounter when you are disembarking and then re-embarking to continue the route.
Yeah. But Mrzwanzig is just using the
pause. Yep, very
to skip these
conveniently.
encounters.
Alright, hope you enjoyed the boat.
Bye boat.
Bye boat.
Oh no, another earthquake.
And there it goes.
So somehow we forgot to just anchor the ship. It just went away. Bad decisions were made.
Yeah, it somehow got out of the bay, which is not how any of this would work.
Yeah.
Ever. Even if you didn't anchor it.
Yeah. You would need a strong current for that, but
Yeah,
even though...
in a bay like that, that would not happen.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see if this chocobo wants to troll me. Alright,
Yay.
not too bad.
So this is interesting. So we know the chocobos from other FFs because they are going with their famous sound, quack. But this one is doing another sound, whack.
Well, that was, I think that was what they all said, like,
Yeah.
until like FF7?
Yeah.
I don't know, I just remember the ones in 9, which goes by quack. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think at 7 they still say warg.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about 7, but until 6 definitely they say warg. It dropped the other crystals very conveniently for us.
It ate the other crystal pieces somehow.
From the explosion, yeah.
Not that we're gonna use any of these.
Oh no,
jobs.
Bard. No, we will use Bard.
Yep.
Wow.
Very briefly. It's for literally for one, so like set up for an ability that we need for one boss fight.
Yeah.
Huh! There we go. All right.
This is not the best recurring theme in this, in my opinion, because the best recurring FF theme in this game is the Moogle theme.
Ah, true.
What about the big bridge?
Yes,
big bridge.
okay.
That's
I
not-
guess. I guess.
Is the chat going to spam the famous emote?
It has to.
It has to.
We can't see chat,
Yeah.
but we're gonna be very disappointed if it's not there.
I mean, can't we?
Water scroll, 5 of these, and a bunch of those.
Yeah, as you can see, our shops get very expensive.
Wait, is it? Yeah, it's 3 and 2.
3 and 2, yeah. Our shops get very expensive at this point, but now it doesn't matter because we have so much money from the 255 ethers.
Hey!
Alright, so now we're heading over to this random forest on the world map where we can encounter mini dragons. They are an uncommon encounter, but since we are on step route, we are going to get 3 of them in a row.
Instead of Ramu,
Instead of Ramu.
who's the actual common encounter in this area.
Yeah.
Every time you encounter Ramu, it's just how many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man? Essentially. And then you run, because you can't defeat them.
Right. So now we have scrolls that the ninjas can throw. They are not quite as powerful as the rods, but they're a lot cheaper. And ninjas also have like really good speed stats, which helps.
Yeah, so you don't need another blue or red mage to throw the vaults.
Yep.
And these encounters give crazy amounts of experience. This is like end game levels of experience almost that you get here. So we fight 3 of these and we go up like 6 or 7 levels or something. I have to stay near the chocobo now so we can back on immediately afterwards.
Nice.
You're basically exactly on the tile.
Yeah, that's what you want. If you're one off, then you can just half step into the chocobo, because that's another thing you can do if you hold A while you're moving onto a tile that has like a chocobo or an airship or something. Then that also cancels the step. A few times we have to do that for the route.
Chocobo can, by the way, only land on forest tiles, I think.
Yeah. Which is the opposite for an airship, only on plain grass tiles.
So now we're going to the Quicksand Desert, which, if you're not on step route, can be a bit scary.
Oh yeah.
It's not that terrible. We at this point, since we've had Ferris in the party as a thief for so long, she has now learned the escape command, which we're about to set up, which is a guaranteed, like, easy, quick way to escape out of encounters. So let's set that up in advance of the dungeon.
Do you save before the dungeon?
Yeah, I'm gonna also do that. I just realized.
Oh wait, this is not the place I was thinking of. Never mind.
What were you thinking of?
The area where you have to cross the desert, and if you're not on step route, you get like really high level encounters.
Oh,
okay,
that's
that's-
after.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in a little bit, like in an hour.
Yep.
Or
Yeah.
less. Some amount of time.
Yeah, so I take everything back. This is not so super scary if you're not on step right.
So here we are going to be throwing shurikens instead of scrolls. The scrolls are pretty good, but they are all multi-target. And here in this fight, that will also target these holes. The idea is that he like keeps moving around, and if you hit the wrong hole that he's not in, then they counter. So doing it with a multi-target move is really slow because you keep getting these spell animations of the counters.
As you can see, the shurikens do also plenty of damage. They're also quite expensive, but...
Yeah, in the old route we didn't have room for this because we didn't have the dupe done this early, so we had to do it with scrolls, but now we have the money to buy some shurikens.
Yeah. So RNG-wise, that fight, you would want the worm to just stick to the very first hole for having a less long animation with the shuriken.
Yeah,
it's very random.
In the old route, we did a different item, not the ether, and that was way later, and it was also used to mix something as a chemist. But since the route changed from blue magic to other stuff, we're just using...
Well, there's actually 2 dupes in the route now.
Yeah. You dupe...
Dragon Fang?
Dragon Fangs, yeah. And in the old route, it was just 1 dupe.
Alright, all good. Now we get to a nice little easy section of the game for a little while. There's some boss fights in between, but largely this is going to be like cutscenes, and we're about to get an airship that we fly around a little bit.
Yeah.
There's no dungeon movement for a little bit.
Which is typically what is hard.
So we found King Tycoon, but he's kind of running away weirdly.
Yeah.
There's other places you can trigger him here, but this is the fastest sequence to get him to over here where we corner him.
Father. Oh no.
Oh, the secret is revealed.
Except...
that was a trap.
You've activated my trap card.
Ooh. And suddenly Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yep.
So everyone is falling into the same room except for Galoof.
Which will actually be convenient to some extent. I think.
No, he just immediately rejoins us.
Yeah, so the very
mind.
funny part is they are gonna talk about him like not being there, maybe being in peace where you are.
Yeah, they're like, oh, okay, I guess we have to move on without him.
Yeah.
By Galoof.
Just
I
eavesdrop. Eavesdropping through the walls and just, no, I'm gonna be there, so I'm gonna find a way. So casually just jumping.
Yeah.
Climbing. And ta-da!
Aaron's like, oh no, we talked
sorry,
behind.
yeah. We're sorry, we didn't mean what we said.
Yeah. But yeah, as the section is rather, you know, somewhat relaxed.
Yeah.
A reminder. We are supporting Save the Children with this marathon. Every donation goes towards Save the Children, which is a good cause, helping children in need everywhere around the world. And if we reach $150,000 during the marathon, Edenal will shave his head. Again. Also, there's some great donation incentives for the Final Fantasy run, FF8 tomorrow. There are naming incentives for Renoa Squall and Angelo. And also 2 incentives where one is a blindfolded section of the game that is very hard, which includes really hard menu and a bunch of fights and movement. And another one is fighting the super boss of FF8, Omega Weapon. So if you want to see those getting mad, donate towards them. The FF8 run is tomorrow on stream 1.
Yeah. There's also Griever's name that you can do,
Oh,
which
yeah.
can lead to very funny moments.
To be fair, they're playing with the French.
Yeah.
So it's not quite as funny, at least to someone
Yeah.
who doesn't speak French.
That's, yeah.
But yeah, in the English language version, there is this funny line someone says, I will junction myself
Self
onto
with.
Griever. If you have some fantasy, you know where this is going.
Alright, so we just found our boat that sank.
Oh, yeah.
And there's another boat over here.
And it has
Propellers.
propellers. So it can fly.
Yeah. And suddenly Sid in mid, falling from we don't know where.
We activated a switch, and that
Made
triggered
the-
a trap hole
Yeah.
in the forest where they were going to return the chocobo. It's a whole comedy of errors. It's just FF5 in a nutshell.
It's funny too because no fall damage, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Who needs fall damage?
Yeah. So Sid is just inspecting all the materials, all the parts that are there. Still functioning, still working, good condition. And he just found out that we had an airship.
Ta-da! Those are our main means of transport throughout the rest of the run, pretty much.
Well,
Well,
throughout the rest of World 1.
yeah, well, one at least.
Right.
So this is a reskin of the very first crab fight that we got onto the Torno Canal. So instead of Calabos, we had Crayclaw.
And he just dies to two
And he just
Thunder
died.
Scrolls.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same as
Yeah.
Carlabos, who just died to a
Thunder.
bunch of bolts.
So I think this airship is another case of, like, not making sense energy-wise to
No.
work.
No, I mean, physically wise, you could argue that it's similar to Hornets, which shouldn't be able to fly because they're so fat. But yeah, physics wise, this doesn't make sense. And energy, like economics wise, yeah.
Are we really debating the viability of airships here?
Yes. What else are
Kind
we
of.
gonna do?
But I mean, like, I feel like we're about to have bigger fish to fry. If you think the airship is ridiculous, look at this.
Yes. I mean, there's yeah.
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 Here's about an entire, like,
Battleship.
ruin castle thing.
That can fly.
It can also fly.
Very. They probably have thousands of hamsters running in a hamster wheel, powering it up. Green energy.
I do join that theory.
Yes.
By the way, one thing about the airship is it goes real zoom fast, and a lot of the time we need to land on like one specific tile, and it can be really tricky to try to get to
Yep.
the exact tile you need to land in.
But thankfully we are not getting encounters on it.
Not while we're flying around, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's important to land exactly on a tile because you're advancing the step route once you're actually on land.
Yeah.
again.
Unless you're half stepping it, which is maybe possible.
Yeah, although we don't ever
Yeah.
do it right now. There's no more half steps for the rest of this section.
So meanwhile we are just progressing through the scenario. Maybe we could have another donation read?
Zephyr donated $5. Donations are a bit slow here on Stream 2 right now. Let's change that. Can we get a $5 train rolling? All in the name of Rave the Children. No. Shave the Children? Close enough.
Shave the Edenol.
Yeah. Shave
Well-
Edenol and save the children and make that train rolling right now.
Also, for every donation, we will pet the knight. That is my job today. I'm not here to commentate. I'm just here to pet and hold the knight.
Emotional support.
Yes. So we're inside a meter again.
Again.
Again. We found adamantium inside the meteor.
Supposedly for free?
Take the shiny rock for free. I mean, I personally would sell it, but then again, I also don't have 255 ethers just in my pocket.
Yeah.
Alright, here's another boss.
The Adamantini.
Yeah, so the character space is a bit limited in this game.
And we still had one ice rod saved up. We actually need that to do the damage that we need.
Great.
Right.
So yeah, so just for a reminder, that red mage was set up because, once again, the rods are doing more damage if you're a mage.
Yeah.
Well, you can't use them with non-mage
Also.
classes, actually.
Well, you could throw it with a ninja, but it wouldn't be the same.
Can you?
Yeah.
I think it's a weapon. You can throw it.
Oh, sure. Yeah, but yeah, that...
It wouldn't be the same damage. And
Sure.
It would probably not kill.
yeah.
Yeah, an older route, like that boss is actually pretty problematic because he hits real hard and he's reasonably fast, and we can't afford him to get turns. So the current strat just about works by having the red mage, which has a little bit more speed than the other mage classes, to throw the ice rod with. An older route used level 5 death on that fight because he's actually vulnerable to it, being a level multiple of 5. We can instantly kill him with that. But this route cuts out all of that extra blue mage nonsense. We are completely done with the blue mage job after the few bosses we killed with Goblin Punch in the early game.
It's kind of sad because the death by math was really cool because you could do some really cool setup with it. You got like level 2 ult, which halves the level of an enemy every ATB tick, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
and there used to be Dark Shock as well for certain things. Yeah, it was a whole math route.
Yeah, and level 5 Doom, and some bosses are very conveniently a multiplier 5 level, and then others there was actually a time where the final boss of the game you can level 2 ult him, and if you find the perfect frame for it, you can just level 5 Doom him, and that's it.
Yep.
It was a very cool strat, which Seraph accidentally found after messing up the actual thing, and then did it kind of like semi-unpracticed in a run, and it just worked. Shoutouts to Seraph for that, it was very entertaining back then. But that is a few years ago, and that has been completely routed out of the game. Because we're just rich enough to throw money at everything.
So here we are just destroying the flame guns of that immense battleship, something like that, just to make sure that we can go inside.
Yeah, again, just spamming Thunder Scrolls here. They're kind of OP, aren't they?
Yeah. Honestly, destroying the thing is just kind of nonsensical, because if you just get to the other ship in an angle, and our ship is very small,
Yeah.
as you can see.
I mean, you can see it on the background, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, you could just go into the blind spot of this cannons.
Yeah.
But the game wants to force you to have some fights, I guess. So.
Right, so conveniently we just learned dash, which means that we don't really need a thief in the party to go fast. But we still need the flee option.
Yeah, for the most part, we're still going to have a thief in the party. There's going to be a section coming up where we don't have any encounters, but we still want to be able to run. So we're going to have Ferris set up as a samurai with the dash ability.
And this is the soul cannon.
Which is the boss of the airship, basically.
Yeah.
Until we go inside.
So all this boss does is he takes a little while to charge up a big laser beam, and then he fires the big laser beam, and then he charges up again, I think. He has a lot of HP, actually, for like the standards of this part of the game. It's really quite a lot, but we still do enough damage that we kill him just before he gets off the big laser.
Yeah, with Thunder Scrolls.
Once again.
Yeah. This game is just throwing simulator at this point. Like, if you manage to just rat out the 2 Goblin Punches,
Yeah.
it's just that. And I guess
And
the
this is
zap.
Nice.
Yeah.
Alright, and with that done, we are going to head into the last dungeon of the first half of the game, being Lanka Ruins. This dungeon is long, it's tough, and the step route is very unforgiving. For most of this, I cannot take a single misstep.
Yeah. So it's going to be max focus while we are covering the part of the scenario, or a donation maybe in the way.
Friesen85 donated $5. Choo choo, here comes the Doom train.
Well, we don't want that kind of train. We want the happy train. But thanks, nevertheless. We need that train for the children, so all for the charity, really.
A couple of encounters we'll kill on the way, just because they're convenient.
So, remember that enemy we got as a Beastmaster that we caught that can do zap? We're gonna use it in this dungeon on the boss.
Yeah. And I think the more I think about it, I think it's called Rot for the attack.
I mean, it doesn't matter. It's
Yeah.
it's poison.
It's inflicting zap, yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand why they need to change the names every game.
Yeah. So this is a Lamia, a famous enemy known for seducing, well, charming the characters to make them attacking themselves.
Aren't they petrifying them?
And petrified.
I mean, they're basically like kind of what Medusa is
Yeah,
also supposed to
exactly.
You can fall into that hole, by the way, if you walk too far.
be. Yeah.
Yeah, so once again we have all those kinds of walls, all those passages where you can actually take an extra steps and you disappear from the field, but it's still counting as a step, so you have to really know the place to make sure that you are taking the optimal route.
Yeah, and as you can see, this dungeon is quite long. It's not as confusing as the steamship, in my
Yep.
opinion, because it's more or less straightforward.
Yeah.
Without a lot of elevators and conveyor belts and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, even the ship graveyard can be tricky if you're not, like, familiar with the step count.
Alright, I'm gonna remember to do the safety here that I learned about last week.
Back rowing,
Back rowing Lena.
yeah. If he crits, you can kill her.
Mm-hmm.
So, this boss has multiple faces, and this is where we're gonna use the poison.
Or damage rolls there.
Yeah.
Because if he gets killed by poison,
Oh,
it
Rainbow
is-
Wind.
yeah, it skips all his other faces when he dies to poison.
So you need an extra 5.
And now we wait.
We wait for the HP to go to 0.
In casual, this boss can be incredibly annoying.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a lot more to that boss. He changes up his attacks. There's like 5 different forms.
Yeah.
We only deplete the HP for 1.
Yeah. I think in a casual mode, like, it changes forms and elemental resistances. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
So yeah, the main difference between the poison status and the sap status is like the poison status cannot kill you gradually, like it sticks to 1 at the end, even though sap can reduce you to 0.
So this is the last remaining crystal, the Earth Crystal. I wonder what's gonna happen to it.
Hopefully it's gonna
Yeah.
be intact.
I forgot to pet the knight after the donation.
Oh yeah.
Here's some extra pet.
The reason I did that safety of back rowing Lena, by the way, is if Archeoavis decides to hit Lena on his first turn, he can like almost kill her, and then his attacks also inflict sap. So then she can just die before she gets the release of the Rainbow Wind off, and that is just so crucial to the strat that we're just screwed if
Yeah. Oh,
we
look,
can't get that off.
Yeah, there's this blonde kid we have seen before.
Yeah. The one who appeared in the ship graveyard.
Yeah. Grandpa.
Grandpa. I wonder.
This, by the way, is the longest series of cutscenes in the run.
Yeah. It's good. If you're playing with turbo mode, it's a good toilet break.
Yeah.
Or
Stretching, hydrating,
yeah.
all that good stuff.
Yeah, to fill up your water. Gallup's memory has been restored completely.
Yay!
Da-da. And yeah, Fairies and Lena are just standing around King Tycoon, who at a point I was like, oh, he's dead, right? But no, he's not.
Nope.
And
Poof.
Move the crystal, the last remaining crystal, sealing X-Death shatters. Which is a problem.
Yeah.
Now, we're just zooming in on the forest where it's sealed with strobing lights, so if you have issues with that, please don't look at the screen right now.
It's not that intense.
I mean, it can get very annoying. Whoa.
There he is, the big man himself.
He's not a man, he's a tree.
Fair.
Yeah, well, another thing we didn't mention is this version of the game has never gotten an official English release.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're playing on like a fan patch, essentially. That's why also at the start we weren't sure what to call bards or buds.
Yeah.
Because there's different translations. There's also like the granddaughter is either called Kara, Kryle, or other stuff.
It's Kryle in this version.
Yeah.
I think the later
It's Kara.
official translation. It's Kara in this one, and later official translations is Kryle.
And that's actually a very important thing if you want to run on console. Like, you have to get a very specific cart, a very specific translation for it to be accepted, because it's not displaying the text the same way. You cannot replicate all the same thing and stuff. So you have to have the RPGE .1, something like that.
1.1. Yeah.
1.1, yeah.
Oh, okay, now it's dying. Cool.
Cool.
Look, I was sure he was dead, but then he's there, and I'm like very confused why he's there. So
Yeah, he chased off X-Death for us.
yeah, well, not for long. It just disappears.
Yeah.
Unlike the other guy that inconveniently died in front of the door.
All right, so we're about to get our last set of jobs here. I believe 2 of which we're never going to use. Let me quickly see. I don't even remember what those 2 are off the top of my head.
Dancer, chemist.
Oh, Dancer we technically use on the final boss,
I think.
but we don't use any of the Dancer abilities.
Yeah. Samurai, Dragoon, Dancer, Chemist.
Yeah.
So chemist is the
Chemist-
most important. one.
Chemist and Samurai are the 2 jobs that are going to take over the run from this point forward.
Dancer, Dragoon.
Dragoon we're never going to
Yeah.
use. Dancer we technically use, but not really for any of its unique abilities.
Just like in real life, and I'm saying this as a chemist, the chemists are the most important. Definitely.
She is legitimately a chemist.
Yes. Shoutouts to all the chemists out there.
And while I'm not a dancer, whenever you do a 4-job fiesta, people are usually trying to pray for Dancer because they can do very cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Dancer gets a really cool weapon. Most people would still prefer to get Chemist, obviously. Over Dancer. But yeah, if you get Dancer, it's not terrible. If you get Berserker, it's not
Another
cool.
story.
Yeah. I already forgot what the Dragoon and...
Samurai.
no, on Earth? Oh yeah, Samurai.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, out of those, I would still argue that Dancer is the worst. But you can get terrible jobs, like White Mage Summoner, Dancer, and like Bard or something.
Yeah. And if you are playing some other versions, you have some exclusive jobs as well, for GBA, for example.
Yeah.
So X-Death has gone back to his original world, also Galuf's original world, and Galuf is like, all right, this is our mistake. We brought this whole business into your world to begin with, to seal it here. I'm gonna go fix it by myself. And he leaves the rest of the party behind,
Including his granddaughter.
No, the granddaughter goes with him.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That would be an interesting turn of event, like, oh, you're there? Well, bye.
I mean, if you were a good grandfather, you would leave your granddaughter in safety, right?
True.
Just saying.
By the way, these meteors that we've seen crashing the whole time, it turns out they were transportation devices. They ride the meteors back to their own world.
Basically, they're just like Truck-kun in Isekai, but also arriving in the Isekai world. Meteor truck.
Yeah.
I wonder if you have to get hit by a meteor.
Oh my god, airship movement. Get on the tile!
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is what we mean.
Very hard.
Yeah. The airship movement itself doesn't progress the step route, but you have to get onto the specific tile to not get an extra step one step route.
And now the party immediately decides, no, let's go after him.
Let's go find a way to join Galev's world.
And they, none of the other meteors have enough juice, so to speak, left in them to...
No more fuel to truck Isekai someone.
But they're going to collect all the fuel from all the remaining meteors and pull them together in order to get there. So let's do a bit of menuing. That's not all. Chemist. And the samurai with the dash ability and optimize.
Yeah. The reason why samurai is so important, as you may have seen for a second, is samurai has
Let
an
me check
ability.
if I did that right.
Samurai has an ability called the Guild Toss, which, as we said earlier, cuts out the middleman of buying scrolls and rods. We're just gonna use the money directly instead.
And the very importance of the chemist's job is that they can combine items from the inventory to create another kind of item, which is either offensive, defensive, or curative. So that's how they are that powerful.
Yeah, chemist is just like a job with crazy utility because you can do so many different things. We're not actually going to be using it for that many different things.
Yeah.
But there's one mix in particular that's extremely powerful, and then a few others that have some pretty major utility throughout the run.
And it's actually
Just like in real life.
Yeah, that's kind of a gameplay that was in FF5 and got lost up until FF10 came back with Riku.
Yeah.
There's so many options. Maybe the people from the creative team were like, well, no, maybe it's counterproductive for the mass. Maybe we cut it out.
It's very hard to balance, and you can tell this in FF10 as well, because up until somewhat recently, and for stretched terms of recently, this has been like 2 years or something. In FF10, the major thing you used was the mix ability to make an item called Trio of 999.
By the way, here's Giltos, and that's that boss fight.
So basically what happens in that fight is that you are attacking all the Pyroboros at the same time, and whenever they die, they cast Life 2 on a supposedly other dead bomb, but since everyone was alive, the Life 2 never gets in.
Yeah, and then they just all die at once. If you kill them one after one, they'll just keep reviving each other, and it's really annoying. Yeah. It's the last meteor, I think.
No, there's one more after this.
Yep. The one with a certain enemy.
Yeah, there's a series of 3 boss fights here. This one in particular used to be incredibly dangerous in the older route I used to run, because this is actually the boss fight that we were duping Dragon Fangs on.
Yep.
Yeah.
And doing that on a fight this dangerous was really scary. There was a very specific setup to make sure he never got turns, and then you needed to keep that up indefinitely until you got the steal. Right now, it's easy. We're just going to Giltos and Giltos. And that's the fight. Got good RNG there. Bartz did not get attacked. Or hollow, rather. We need him to be at full HP for the next fight, so we would have to heal in between otherwise.
So yeah, just like Mrzwanzig said, so back in the previous route, you would use the Monster Tamer to control the Chimera Brain to make it so that it doesn't attack, and you have time to steal and do the underflow manipulation, which was very dangerous because the manipulation could fail.
Yeah.
So
And then it could attack you, and it
Yeah.
does a lot of damage.
Especially the Aqua Breath.
All right, do you want to do this next fight?
No.
You literally just hold A.
Yeah.
I trust you to hold it.
It's a co-op run then.
Yes, so?
And you have to finish your fourth.
Nobody cares. Hold X.
Yeah, okay.
Old X said don't kill the material.
Can someone... Yeah.
Oh dear.
See, this is why this was an incredibly stupid idea.
Yeah, well, the stupid idea was putting this here. We did a bit of an oopsie.
No more Pepsi at the...
So I wait a bit to touch the keyboard because it might do things that we don't want.
Oh my god.
And suddenly he's wanting flood.
This is why I should have just been drinking water.
I mean, I did ask you what you want to drink, so... Technically, it's not my fault. It's a one-way ticket to the other world. So we're gonna reverse Isekai now. Technically. And they all just jump in and leave the chocobo behind.
Alright, all good.
Crisis averted.
And just now we finished off the what we call World 1, and now we're on to what is effectively the second half of the game. There's a World 2 and a World 3. They together comprise about the second half of the run.
The Triangle Island, so I call it.
Yeah. Titan in other games is super hard. In this game, super easy.
Mm-hmm.
In FF6, it's one of the scariest fights. And I hope chat will be ready soon, because
Yeah, there's a little bit to go, but
there's a little bit, but you can hype them up about it.
And I think through the donations we were promised a train. We still got to see it. So people, you know what to do to contribute to this charity event for Save the Children.
And Eden's more summerly haircut.
Yeah.
so here you got to do you got to use a 10 to activate this cutscene.
Mhm.
If you don't have one already in your inventory, all the enemies around here drop them. But obviously that would be slow. Right here we're gonna get into a fight, and this is kind of like a semi-forced loss. You can win this fight. Like if we had a samurai setup, then just a guild toss would win the fight. But then afterwards you get a little animation because they still gotta justify you getting caught anyway. So there's a little short scene that happens where there's a treasure chest out of nowhere, and you try to open it, and some gas comes out.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
It's just quicker to attack yourself.
It's just quicker to attack yourself. All right. And now we have been captured once again. Oh no.
Oh, I wonder how that happened.
Oh no. Exodesu.
Where is Sid with his dynamite?
Well, he's still in the other isekai world.
True.
The question in this scenario is, which of the worlds is the isekai?
Title. I wish I was in the other isekai.
Multiverse isekai. While this cutscene is playing, we have time for another donation.
Yep. Or not. So XDeath just uses sort of a magic mirror to just project the images of all three characters, and himself behind to just let Galuf know that their acolytes have been captured, so they might want to do something if they want to reclaim their comrades.
They're releasing the hero.
Right now is fine.
Friesen85 donated $5. Here's another $5. Get yourself a new drink, mister.
Well, about that.
No more Kirk allowed here. Not that water would be any better with electronic equipment, honestly, but at least it wouldn't get sticky. We are not sponsored by Pepsi. I should point that out, I guess. I wish we were. PepsiCo, if you're seeing this, ESA happens every year.
Alright, we are still in step count.
Nice.
All is well.
I think this is the longest you've had step count recently.
No, I've been really good about it recently in runs. What are you talking about?
Every run where you didn't have it, you just didn't finish. So.
Yeah, exactly. Oh wait, hang on. I want
No.
to optimize as well.
Yep.
So yeah, now Galuf is just trying to save the party, and we have Gilgamesh here.
And there he goes.
Yep.
Crap. So Gilgamesh is known for being quite the actor in the industry. So
Yeah.
he just fakes that he's inferior and just escapes.
My theory is you throw money at him,
Oh yeah, he just grabs it.
he grabs it, and
Yeah.
he just goes gambling.
Oh yeah, I should think about this. I should replicate that in real life, like ask for people to throw me money and just escape with it.
Are you strong
know,
enough
in the-
that they
In the
are-
metro? Yeah, thank you.
Oh,
Oh my god, is it happening?
yes. Well,
I like the color of that card.
do you have a card reader with you? We don't take cash, only card.
What am I doing here? I'm doing something here. Oh, right, just saving. Never mind. The menu's once we're actually in here.
Alright, so we are in there.
And there's the music.
There's the music. I hope chat is ready to spam the emote.
There better be an emo train right now.
Yeah, on this bridge we're doing very specific movement, just in case you're wondering. But we're just gonna guilt-toss everything.
Yeah, there's some encounters here that are avoidable by walking in certain places. Oh, right. Hang on. I need everybody to be in back row. Right. I still had her in the back already. Okay.
Now, I wasn't thinking about the plum emote, but that works.
Yeah, just any dancing emote, really.
So among the FF community, we have some sort of like chat typing, which represent a cactuar dancing,
Yeah.
just like that.
Wait, what am I doing?
What are you doing?
Oh, here's the actor. Fooling around, thinking that he's inferior, just throwing some protective spell. He's gonna jump. He's gonna do massive damage. As you could see.
Gilgamesh is really good at letting us just like set up our inventory because he talks
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be another fight with him later where it's going to be the same thing where I'm going to be using to set up my inventory again.
Yeah, and he just runs away because he has gotten enough money now.
Here I got to be a bit careful with the movement.
Yeah, because you can actually not trigger any of the force fight from the bridge by following a certain path.
The one at the start.
Oh,
Still
yeah.
good. Right. That is that for now. The music will be back one more time later.
Yeah. Loving it. Yeah, that was a decent amount of dancing in the chat. It could have been better. I'm sure you can do better on the encore. Counting on your chat.
The Hollow Knight will also dance.
Yes.
All right. Now we've got a long trek across this continent here over the world map.
Yeah, Galoof is happy that we isekai after him. Even if he had to save us immediately.
Yeah. So this is another state of step counting, making sure that we are pausing on the right tile, to make sure that we are escaping.
We're using the point where we have to get into the menu anyway to do some menuing.
Yep.
And right here is the only time we actually get an encounter that we don't need on the world map. I don't know why this somehow just can't seem to be avoided in the step route. I don't really know the inner details, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
We just run away. No problem.
We do have time for a quick donation.
Tomaine donated $5. $5 for Save the Children. Reimbursing ESA's tech crew for the spill is gonna have to come out of the runner's pockets.
Ouch. Those things just can't go under the radar. That's impossible.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. Just how nothing happened in the first 5 minutes of this run.
Rubbing.
I mean, I know a pretty good way to get cola out of equipment, so if the tech crew needs help with that, let me know. As a chemist. Basically, half of the game is spent destroying the crystals, which we didn't do. And then the other half is just trying to stop Exdeath from, I guess, destroying the world?
Yeah. Or
something void.
Void, yeah.
Yeah, cast the world into the void.
So an interesting thing that we just passed, because it's not needed in the speedrun, we passed a certain castle, an abandoned castle, and there's a summon inside.
Best music. Other than Big Bridge.
Also, I didn't mention it, but we did a bunch of shopping there to buy like a bunch of consumable items. Most of that, other than the Phoenix Downs, really is just for mixing. And I guess general healing with the high potions as well.
Yeah, so in this water we can't pause and we're just kind of drifting, so that's why we're getting encounters.
So yeah, no matter if you're on step count or not, those fights are always triggering at the very same point. They are like scripted.
Yeah.
But it's still important to keep the step count ongoing, just like he did.
Yeah, there's another somewhat important step route part coming up right after this dungeon. So we killed one of those crab times 4 encounters just for some more experience, and now we're just running away from the rest. This doesn't usually happen. They don't usually get turns. I think I have to actually heal Lena. She might die to the boss now.
Yeah, probably. Moogle Eater.
Moogle Eater. Ah. Devil.
Sad.
And I'll safety heal Lena.
The Moogle Eater makes me sad, but wait, what makes me even more sad? During the Lightning Returns run that was on at the ESA, they let the Moogle abuse cutscene play out.
True.
And it's terrible. Pharaoh is not here right now, but she will never hear the end of it.
Right, so this fight is very hard. Well, actually it's not, but Phoenix Down has a chance of missing. It's not a guaranteed effect on Undead. So sometimes it lands, sometimes it doesn't, so you have to throw another one. And if you're very unlucky, you have to spend multiple Phoenix Downs, but we don't want that.
Yeah, basically this boss is an undead, and it's a commonality in most Final Fantasy games where you can just heal undead enemies and they die. It's also a trope in Final Fantasy VIII, which you're gonna see tomorrow.
So the Moogle right here is showing us that we don't want to go into the desert. There's actually really dangerous encounters in that desert. We have step route though, so
So it's fine.
Yeah,
we are going to completely ignore this advice. If I was not on step route, I would be doing what the Moogle right here is doing, except way slower because he moves faster than I do.
Yeah, this is the sequence I meant earlier, where if you don't have step route, you really kind of want to follow the Moogle.
Yeah.
Because these encounters are super high level too. They can mess you up bad.
This one, we pause. And we're all good. Don't need to go all the way around.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the best Moogle theme. Chat can't fight me over this. It is the best Moogle theme. Also, fun little tidbit, and this is not about Final Fantasy V, but did you know that all the safety Moogles in Final Fantasy IX have different names? We found this out recently.
Oh no, I knew about that.
I didn't. And
But I never really looked at the full list.
it's very
it's a lot.
comprehensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. The dancing dagger is what you definitely want if you're doing a 4-job fiesta. And half-gotten dancer, because the dancer does extra damage with it.
Stretching because I have to wait here for a little bit for the Moogle
This
to
is
come
a
out.
nice sequence break.
Oh no, the Moogle is standing inside Galoof.
They're just cuddling.
Yeah. Big hug.
Moogles need love.
The Hollow Knight needs love as well. You should hug it.
I will pet the Hollow Knight for every donation.
I'm going to very carefully.
Carefully drink. Just empty it, then nothing can happen anymore.
Oh, that's true.
Now we get more cute dragon noises.
Yay!
All right.
Right, so the Moogles actually were showing us something, pointing their nose. It's like, thanks to this little scene, you just realize that to land into this forest, like for sure, from the air, that forest is actually depicting a Moogle face, and you want to land onto the nose point to enter it.
It does not look like a Moogle.
Nah, but nice try, I guess, from the devs.
I mean, you know, limited resources
Yeah.
on this console.
And so Kara is coming to pick us up with the dragon, and then we're going to head back to where the castle that Galoof actually rules, because I don't think we mentioned this, but Galoof is actually a king in this world.
The King of Bao.
That time I gave up my kingly duties to trap someone in a tray. And let the problem become not my world's problem anymore. Out of sight, out of mind, right?
True.
Yeah, it's actually a plot point that one of the four that originally sealed Exdeath was not on board with this whole offloading our plan or offloading our problem onto another world business.
Yeah.
That being Bart's father.
So Bart is actually Isekai child. The plot lines, man.
Plot thickens.
They should make an anime. Oh wait.
They made a sequel anime.
That could be the title. Oh
No.
wait.
Yeah, they have made a sequel anime out of this, and it's
very interesting. I highly recommend to check it out. It's called Final Fantasy Legend of the Crystals. Bring booze.
yeah, you will need it. We watched it with a couple of people, and it is a thing that exists for some reason. I wonder if the Final Fantasy IX anime is gonna be
Oh yeah,
like
that's gonna
that.
that's gonna be a whole thing too soon, isn't
Yep.
it?
Yes. I mean, can it be worse? That is the question.
So I'm pretty happy that we're still on step route.
Yeah. You're doing just a great job right there.
There, we're just gonna ignore the first 5 minutes.
Yeah. No, that never happened.
That was also an isekai. Multiverse. String theory, alternative universe things. It both happened and didn't happen.
Alright. The secret passage here, there's the exit spell. It's gonna be handy, because there's gonna be some dungeons where the game won't just immediately teleport us out of the dungeon afterwards or whatever, and we would normally have to walk all the way back out.
Yeah. So that's the major kind of frustration. So Galoof could have come to our world with the exit spell right away.
Yeah, he could.
He could-
It could.
He had it in his castle.
That's
Like, why would he? He'd, like,
I don't know. In case he just gets amnesia and gets captured.
Well, I guess he didn't have access to mage jobs at the time.
I guess.
yeah, so now we're gonna go to the Hiryu plant. I think?
Yeah.
I do like the denomination of that in the notes. The Dragon Have Fun Valley. Yeah.
And have fun in quotation
Yeah.
marks.
For the record, I didn't write that. That's Sid
Yeah,
Vogel who
yeah.
wrote
Yeah.
the notes.
Yeah, shoutouts to Sinvogel who
Yeah.
rerouted the entire step route of this game multiple times.
Yeah, I think the current route is based on a Japanese route that he
Yep.
more or less adapted a little bit. But yeah,
Yeah.
he's done a ton of routing work, and he has a complete fully explained with graphics and everything video tutorial for this speedrun. So if you're at all interested in learning it, the resources for it are great.
Yeah, it's super useful. That's he used to do those even with the previous route, and when I got it, it was very helpful. So
Like, if you don't mess up step count, this game is, as you can see, not super hard. You just throw money at everything. Or
Case in
what?
point.
Yep.
yeah,
Oh, wait, why am I not running?
The other thing is where it's like, for beginners, it's kind of unforgiving.
Yeah.
Because if you mess up a menu and you don't set up a job correctly, it's a bit tough. Because you can't really recover from it. But saving is so quick in it that there's no real loss in just saving on the world map before entering dungeons.
yeah.
So right now the story is that the Hiryu, the dragon that they have at Ball Castle, is sick. So we're going to go get some plants to heal it. And on the way we run into this guy here called Kelgar. He's actually one of the original 4 guys who sealed X-Death, and he isn't fully convinced by our party being good guys.
Especially knowing that one of their brethrens went to our world to try and warn us about what was happening and died within the Fire Crystal Maze. So
Without telling us anything.
yeah.
And he uses the, if you've played Punch-Out, he uses the Great Tiger attack here.
And Bart is making full use of his sixth sense to just attack.
Yeah, just Sonic punched him.
Yeah. No sweat.
Little work.
By the way, that bed that Bart's punched him into there, he's not going to get out of that bed. He's going to die. Like a little, like 40 minutes or so from now, he's going to die in that bed.
Yeah.
It's unclear whether we contribute to that meaningfully or if he was just old and already.
Yeah,
like,
it's probably just old.
But
no, my theory is Bart is like the actual bad guy of this is just Bart.
Yeah, so we do get to know that Bart is the son of one of the warriors of Down, which is
Dorgan,
Dorgan.
the guy in the back here.
Yeah. So, fun fact, those 4 warriors of Dawn are actually reminiscent in FF13 with some of the missions, I think.
Yeah,
Or the
the
trophies.
trophy names.
Yeah.
The trophy
So you
names are
have
based
the
on
Dorgan's
these 4.
Cup, some stuff like that. So, that's a nice reference there.
Yeah, typically a lot of the newer or Final Fantasy games do reference a lot of the
Yeah.
older ones
Sure do.
and reuse a bunch of stuff like
Mhm.
the crystals, which were already a thing in FF1 and the 4
Yeah.
Fiends as well.
Yep.
Which appear in some of the games as bosses.
Mm-hmm.
Gilgamesh too appears in a multitude of Final Fantasy games. I don't think we'll see him in Final Fantasy 8. And we're also not gonna see him in Final Fantasy 13. But
He gets around.
yeah, he gets around. Yeah. As we said, he's not okay with just dropping off the threat into a different world.
And thus he decided to stay in the other world. And he had a child there, and that's where Bart's came from.
Now the question is, why was Bart in the other world though?
I think Dorgan chose to stay in case
Yeah,
the
that's what I just
seal.
said.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, he chose
Yeah.
to stay to keep an eye on things in case X-Death ever got
Turned.
out.
This music is way too happy for what's happening.
Should do a menu here as well.
Should also probably save.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the Dragon Hafen Valley.
Again, another long dungeon.
Mm.
Lots of complicated movements.
Still way too happy music.
Dragon Have Fun Valley.
Yeah. Indeed. When you're playing this game casually, the boss of this area is a major pain.
Oh yeah, I had so much trouble with this the first time, and then I saw the speed strat. I'm like, what? You just throw money and he dies.
Yeah.
This game in a nutshell.
Yeah. Wait, why am I killing this? What?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't need to fight this. I'm just supposed to run. I was talking about just throwing money, so in my brain I was like, yeah, just throw
Wait,
money.
Yeah. Just be extra fancy. We are rich, by the way.
Yeah, it's fine. We have so much money. And we could get even more money.
Yeah.
Infinite money glitch. This is why inflation exists.
Oh, the bone mail is still there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's very
nice.
important.
Yeah, the bone mail we will also use later on.
Yeah. It's gonna be useful for another isekai reveal plot.
Indeed. We'll be at the point where we can come up with spoilery titles.
Well, here's the money we threw.
Yep. Why do you even pick up that chest at that point?
Well, our gil isn't actually infinite. Like we do like nearly run out by the end of the game, so
I see.
we do genuinely need money still.
Do not throw money.
Yeah, no, here we're just tossing Phoenix Dams.
Because it's an undead enemy, so...
And it can miss, like, as you see. Is it a 50-50?
I think it's not
I don't actually know what the
50-50.
chance
Yeah.
is, but it's usually pretty good. Like missing 3 like there is pretty unlucky. And these also drop Dragon Fangs. We're gonna kill 2 of these here. And that gives us 2 Dragon Fangs that we'll use in a boss fight in a little bit. We'll explain more when we get there. Alright, that one hit first try at
Nice.
least.
Nice. The screens are just, and once again, just to skip the encounter. Oh
And
no.
suddenly a plant.
Yeah, so this boss, it features a bunch of little plants that he summons, and they just give you all kinds of status effects. It's a real pain casually, but they die to 1 Gill Toss, and then even though it takes us a few more Gill Tosses to kill him, all he does right now is just regrow the plants. So
If you're fighting this casually, you're just stuck in the state as hell.
yeah, like they don't.
Nice.
The boss doesn't actually attack you all that much, so it can just turn into like a half-hour fight where just no one is damaging anyone. It's a real pain of a fight casually.
So all this quest was to retrieve that Hiryu plant to just heal the dragon.
Right. And there's the exit spell. Again, we don't get automatically teleported out
Yeah.
there, so...
And
So worth to note is that thanks to the time mage, exit is a spell that you can use. You cannot use it with another kind of mage.
I think that's the only thing you're using time edge for in this route. In the old route,
You would
Oh,
use, you would use haste, right?
not just haste, it's more like you had, for some fights you had a time edge set up to reset the fight
Oh yeah,
if you mess up the level 2 ult.
true.
Because at some point when you use level 2 ult, the enemy would just tick down to level 1, at which point you can't use level 5 Doom anymore, so... if you mess that up, you have to basically reset the entire fight. Which you can just do with a time mage.
Right, so
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember that strat with the reset spell.
Mhm.
That was really silly.
Yep. Aren't you glad that's routed out now?
The reset spell is such a weird spell too. That's like, I think it's only in this game.
Yeah.
It just resets the fight.
In Final Fantasy XIII, you just have to retry option.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter,
Our characters are all time mages in that.
basically.
So the funny thing about this part is like, so when we left the castle, Galuf said, don't open to anyone, literally anyone. So
Yeah, because there's
we-
monsters out there.
Yeah. So they literally didn't open even to us. So we had to
Go
sneak
through the
in.
back door.
Yeah.
The canal route that only the king knows about.
Someone is standing inside the Moogle again.
They're just hugging, man.
It's Teddy all along.
Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, Teddy.
I don't know what you mean, and I don't think I want to.
Well, in Persona 5, there's
Yeah.
a character called Teddy. And initially when you meet him, he's just an empty costume. But at some point he grows a body inside the
that
costume.
business. Right.
After he got flattened. So it's kind of weird.
Yep.
And yesterday Potter was very confused because you can also use costumes in the game. So at some point Teddy just looks like Alice in Wonderland.
Okay.
And Potter basically jumped in exactly then and was like, "But why the girl is but why is he a Teddy?" And then you see the real body of Teddy, which is just a guy. And he's like, the girl is the bear, but the bear is the guy.
Yes.
And it was, yeah, a thing. If you haven't seen Persona 4 Golden, if you've missed it, I think all the VODs are gonna be uploaded to the YouTube channel of ESA eventually, so go check that out whenever after the marathon. As a reminder, we're looking to reach 150k during the marathon for donations, so Edenal will shave his head for a good cause to save the children.
Alrighty, we have successfully healed the Hiryu, so now we once again have a meaning of airborne transportation. So we left our airship back in the other world, so...
Yeah, we should have isekai that as well.
Yeah. Oh well.
Too bad it didn't fit into the meteor, I guess. We're leaving Kara behind because she's sick or something.
And we can only have 4 party members.
But the dragon can ride 5, because she came to pick us up earlier, so it's kind of weird. Like, FF6 doesn't care that you can only have 4 party members. It just throws characters at you.
Yeah.
It's funny too, because I think FF6 is the last game where you have 4 party members. And
9.
Oh yeah, 9. Oh yeah, 9 exists. But like, other than that, most of the games have cut it down to 3 party members nowadays. And then there's 15, which is 4 again. It fluctuates.
So we're going to go see this sage called Guido, and Xdeath is like, no you don't, and he just sinks the island. That's just the thing he can do.
Yeah.
The lands need hydration. Intense hydration.
I think this Xdeath guy is pretty strong, you guys. I don't know. I don't know how we're going to beat him.
It's just a bit in armor.
Yeah, our money will bounce right off of it.
No! And she might not even have a gambling problem like Gilgamesh does.
Yeah, we might have to figure out some kind of way we can throw money even harder.
Oh.
And we will, don't worry.
Quick, the card. Where is it?
Card reader slots in next to armor. Swipe here.
Alright, and we were going to go straight towards Xdeath's castle, and we find that there is already an assault in progress by one of the other 4 warriors of Dawn, Zizat, with his little boat armada here.
Another warrior of dawn.
Kinda looks like the clown in Simpsons.
Like Krusty? Oh
Yeah.
my god, I'm never gonna unsee that now. He does have... I don't know if that's supposed to be hair or a helmet. I'm actually not sure.
It's a helmet.
It's a helmet, but it still makes him look like Krusty.
Oh, wrong way. Wait. Yes.
Catch a fusies.
I have to say yes there.
Yeah.
Holding B still.
You're holding circle.
Shh, they don't know I'm on an emulator.
Alright, this is the moment, chat. You have to dance again.
Get the dancing
Make us proud.
emotes ready. Because for some reason, yeah, Gilgamesh.
Ah, I can see it.
Oh, there it is.
So
Alright.
if you guys want to follow someone on the chat, follow Gibbons Dance. That's the one we want.
So, this part of the game is very strict with the AP route. We're about to fight one Gabbledygak. That's the name of the enemy. I don't know. And this is going to give us exactly enough AP. Wait, I missed something. Hang on. Uh-oh. This is fine. We still have another Guild Tosser. Galuf should have done this himself, but it's fine. Alright, this gives us exactly enough AP for... I think Ferris has just learned Guild Toss, and Bartz has just learned Mix. So now we're going to switch their jobs. And fight Gilgamesh again.
By that we mean throw more money at him.
No, we're not, actually.
No. Terrible.
No, we're actually going to do this. Death Potion.
Oh,
Even more efficient. Instant death.
that's cheating.
That's
And once again, I'm using
That's
this
almost
opportunity.
disappointing.
Even though we literally killed him in one hit, and he's not even on the screen anymore, he's still talking.
he's talking about Enkidu.
Yeah, normally Enkidu is supposed to appear in that fight, and a whole thing happens, but like
We just skip it.
we don't deal with that. I didn't do all of the setup that I wanted to, but it's fine. I can still do some more later if need be. I got all the important stuff.
Yeah, I'm just kind of sad that Gilgamesh is dead now. It's a good character.
Now we learn that Zizat, being the crafty guy he is actually staging this whole ship armada as a diversion from his real plan, that being to sneak with a submarine into the barrier tower that is keeping up the barrier around Exdeath's castle.
How does that work? Because in
There's a cave there.
Yeah,
and
very convenient placed cave.
Yes. Don't worry about it.
Exdeath should have just built it on land. What would he have done then?
So we blow our way into the tower.
Conveniently, it doesn't flood. Despite caves being known to be not super structurally integral, you know. You could have just blown up the entire bit and flooded the tower.
Alright, so this is another dungeon where you get a lot of encounters in this dungeon if you don't have step route. We are going to get 0 if I don't mess up. Let's do a save.
Speaking of step route while you're doing this, basically all the older Final Fantasy games have a step route to some extent. There's very few that don't, and some where it doesn't really matter as much. But like even FF7, FF8 have a step route. FF6 has also like a rather specific one.
Yeah, you have to manipulate a seed before starting your run from a save file.
Yeah. I'm not sure about FF4 because I don't know much about the speedrun
I
itself.
think there's a seed manipulation as well, but it's
yeah.
not like
Super strict.
yeah.
Yeah. And in 9 you don't really have like a step route, but it's more like an optimal way to go through rooms because your threat rate basically in a room goes up the more you're in it. So if you take the most efficient route through a room to get to a transition, you can like skip an encounter essentially. And FF10 just doesn't have one because it's a corridor. And neither does Final Fantasy XIII, which you'll be seeing after this run. Final Fantasy XIII has other cool stuff instead.
Yeah, well, in 13 you can actually see the enemies and just dodge around them.
Or can you?
Something funny to note, we officially have passed the part of the game where my PB lost step route.
Nice.
Just last or 2 weeks ago or so, I got another PB that didn't have step route for the last third of the run, and I'm still mad about it. Anyway, here's Atomos.
This boss, it's very important that we leave one character dead
Yep.
Because if we don't, he does some nasty stuff. But if one character is dead, he tries
Where's
to.
my... Oh, there it is.
What Atmos does is he tries to suck the
Yeah.
character towards you, and that's all he kind of does. In which case you can't revive the character once the character gets basically eaten by Atmos. But since he doesn't do anything else, we're just powering up our chemist. I think. Yeah.
Yes.
Which makes our guild toss stronger.
I'm gonna do some quick setup here.
And we do this by combining a bunch of items that basically raise our level. So guild toss becomes stronger and Atmos just dies after a few hits of guild toss. That's pretty much it.
Well, good job from Galuf for weeping the floor.
Nice rug.
Nice
Yeah,
mob.
so Dragon Power is very powerful. It raises our level by 20 every time we use it. So you use that a couple of times and your guild tosses just become ridiculous. In that fight, we used the 2 Dragon Fangs that we got from the Zombie Dragon encounters in the Hiryu Valley. We now don't have any more, so we can't use Dragon Power for a little while now. But it's going to be fine. We're going to get more. Don't you worry.
Yeah. This is pretty much what we're gonna do for the rest of the run. Dragon Power, guild toss. And they just jump. Okay.
And we learn here that Zizat is actually he disabled the barrier around the top there, so that we could destroy the pillar.
But he's dying in the process of it.
But yeah, now the entire tower is going to explode, and he is staying behind, sacrificing himself.
Rip Krusty. Yeah, and the Bards knocks out Galuf, so he won't just die for nothing as well.
Nice leap of faith right there.
Like I said, there's no fall damage in this game. Loud noises.
And the barrier has now been deactivated.
Which means we can actually...
Invade the castle.
Which we're not gonna do right away.
Yeah, I don't remember why we don't, actually.
We still want to go to Guido.
I guess.
I guess.
I genuinely don't remember the story reason.
I think it's because you're not sure how to even kill X-Def, so you probably just want to get some advice before you actually go invade his castle.
That, and not to mention that the massive fleet just lost their commander, so they might be a little bit disoriented now.
I mean, that's not our problem, is it?
Yeah.
But yeah, generally I think it's just because you're not sure what to even do when you reach X-Def. I'm not entirely sure anymore though either, so... But yeah, we're only a party of 3 right now because Galuf is still knocked out because Bart hits people like a truck.
Literally.
Yeah, which is why also the werewolf guy dies. So. Because Bart's just hit him full force. You did this, right?
Yeah. Oh, oops, wrong way.
So no, we're going to the island that got sunk, basically.
Right, so thankfully the submarine is acting a bit like the airship. You can't get an encounter under the water. So even if you just derail a bit from your initial path, you can just readjust and it's not detrimental.
Thing is though, it's not as fast as the airship.
True.
Also, didn't you blame me when you lost step count in that? Because I think I walked past you and I was like, did you lose step count? And you were like, now I have. Or something like that.
Maybe. I might have.
Yeah, and then Yeah, it was apparently my fault.
Alright, still good here.
Galoof is still being a rug.
Yeah, we'll revive him eventually. We don't need him right now, we're not fighting anything.
No. If you have a quick donation, now's a good time to get it in.
Zephyr donated $5. What happened to my $5 train? It barely got out of the station before breaking down. Let's give that another try and this time think more of Japanese Shikansen than less than insert your least favorite operator here greater than. Can we get to $34,000 before the end of the run?
Yes, please. I mean, you're more than welcome to do that. Like, it's all for charity, it's all for the good cause, so just don't restrain yourself.
Also, thank you, Zephyr.
Yep.
As a reminder, there are some great incentives you can put your donation towards, and all the money goes to save the children.
Yeah.
Paris is just being a fish right now.
Yeah, as you can see, I still got quite a few encounters even on Step Route in that dungeon. There's just a lot of really long screens where you can't really get around them.
Yeah.
So that's part of the reason why, like, at this point of the run, it's not that important to have Step Route. There's going to be one dungeon coming up in a little bit where it is potentially quite important.
Yep.
But for the most part, you don't lose that much time.
Yeah, so this turtle is not just a random turtle. He is
I
the
thought that was Franklin.
he is the sage we're looking for. Which makes sense because he's 700 years old, so... If he was a human, that would kind of be weird. I think he's just kind of telling us what to do to collect stuff or something.
Yeah.
And gives us something.
Yeah, it gives us a branch to get into the Forest of Moor. Again, this part of the story is vague to me. I don't remember why we're going there.
To burn down trees, I guess.
So from what I could just read, it's like that branch comes from the very eldest tree of the...
Reading the dialogue? What is this?
I know, right? Stupid skill. So apparently it just resonates with the forest, so it gives you the entrance and the passageway throughout it.
Yeah. Just like the Moogle Forest, you have to do a specific thing to get into a forest,
Yeah.
where you could just walk into it. And you have a flying dragon, so just saying. Either way, we use the exit spell again to just get out of the dungeon and not deal with all the encounters anymore and the really long run back.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're actually gonna go to the forest that Sage Guido told us to go to.
Alright, let's revive Galoof. That would be a nice thing to do at this point.
So as you've just seen, we've equipped the bone mail.
Yeah, keep that in mind.
Yeah.
The bone mail is a really strong piece of armor, but it does turn you into a zombie effectively, so healing items hurt you.
Which is important.
Alright, so here.
Oh,
The
okay.
branch opening the path.
You could just use a sword to cut down.
No.
Yes. Anything. You could use anything to cut down the little hedge that is blocking your way. You could use Bulbasaur with cut.
Alright, so there's various encounters we're going to be killing on the way here, because we want to level up to level 17 by the end of this, and get a good chunk of AP as well.
While we're doing this, we still have time for donations.
Zephyric donated $5. What does every Moogle need in the morning? A cup o' coffee.
Oh god. We're starting this.
Yeah. Yes, we are. Keep coming in.
We love puns.
We love
Mr.
puns.
Mrzwanzig is a huge fan of puns, especially when they're really bad.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I know that Zephyric kind of domain is those puns, so might as well get them.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Now, speaking of burning down trees, X-Death is just burning down the entire forest with us in it.
It's efficient. If he wants to get rid of it, that is. Which he does.
Right. Here we have to wait a little while to get rescued, so we're gonna grab a nice shield. Also, this is another weird section where you can't get encounters, but it still counts steps, which is why I did that little step into the little area there. And now we just wait here.
Waiting to be saved by the Moogle!
Who comes out of a hole that's directly under us. Right now we're not falling down. Not falling down.
Koopa.
Not falling down. We're fine.
Still fine.
Oh, there we go.
It's comic physics. You only fall down when you look down.
Right, yeah, exactly.
We still
Got a
have
free heal there. I'm just... No, I'm not. Okay. I need to wait a little while here for the Moogle to move.
While we're doing that, we do have time for donations as well.
Mutsky donated $10. Put this towards Mrzwanzig being proud of me. Happy early birthday, Zwan. And hi friendos hanging out. Love. Your favorite speedmutt, Kev.
Thank you, Kev.
Thank you. Kev.
Thank you.
Also, late happy birthday to you as well.
Yeah. Late happy birthday.
I think it was.
No. His is in 2 days after mine.
Oh yeah.
Ah.
Aw.
Well, happy
Preemptive.
preemptive.
Yeah, preemptive birthday. Yeah.
We are a lot from month of July.
birthdays, Yeah.
Maelstrom and I. Yeah.
Leona's had birthday right before you say.
Yeah.
Happy birthday as well.
Thank you.
I think someone celebrated their birthday yesterday at the other backstage area. Yeah. Happy birthday to everyone born in July. Take this event as your special birthday stream.
Alright, and we should be all good to go for this boss fight. Yeah, these are the Crystal Guardians. We've set up everybody except for Bart's, I think, to be able to do guild tosses. Bart's instead is going to do a budget version of the Dragon Power mix called Samson's Power on Ferris to power up hers.
That's what the old route used instead of Dragon Power.
If I can remember how to do it. It's this, isn't it? I'm just making absolutely sure that I'm using the right mix here.
Yeah. The old route instead of Dragon Power, which I think powers you up double the amount than Samson Power does, just use that instead because the old route didn't have the Dragon Fangs. But you still used guild toss on a lot of bosses, so...
That fight, by the way, is really scary if you... once they get into low HP, those crystals stop using those physical attacks and they start casting really, really powerful magic. So we have to... We let them all get their turns in early and only then get them into the low HP and then just kill them.
Yeah. So X-Def is now... sealing us, I guess, with the crystals.
Yeah, it's bad times. It's bad times.
And Kara just has this
Spidey sense.
spidey sense and gets on Hiryu to find Grandpa that she definitely knows where he is for some reason. Esper powers, I guess.
And she gets over here fast, too.
Yeah.
She just goes zoom zoom, which doesn't happen when we are on the dragon, which is all. Yeah. Here she is. Having flown across half of the world map.
Yeah, if I could get a hold of the company airlines, I would like to grab it sometimes.
But unfortunately, our rescue is short-lived, as he just captures her in this ring of fire and just continues what he was doing before.
Yeah. Bullying. Somehow she doesn't die from this. And Galoof, the Chad, gets up from Grandpa Power and is defying the whatever it is Xdev is doing to us right now. Because he loves his granddaughter so much, and he just essentially destroys the crystal and gets it to the Ring of Fire to get Kara out, which doesn't get hurt after she's thrown out. Odd. So remember how we equipped the Bone Mail on Galoof, which turns him into a zombie.
Well, he's at 0 HP right now, so we
Yeah.
seem to be in some trouble, but let's heal just in case.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Oops.
Hang on. Okay.
Wait, what? Game
Oops.
Oh.
Is it game over now?
So what's supposed to happen there is you have to it's either survive a certain number of turns or deal a certain amount of damage. I forget every time how it works. But you're not meant to actually be able to lose there because Galuf is so empowered by his will to save his granddaughter and his friends that he is just powering on despite really being past his limits. That takes a while, though, and we don't want to do that. So we found a way we can actually die in that fight, which is using an instant death type ability, which, with the Bone Mail equipped, like I said, he counts as a zombie type character, and a Phoenix Down just kills him and immediately ends the fight.
Yeah. This is also the only ever time in a Final Fantasy game where they're like, use items to revive him.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work because he's just completely spent. But it's also really funny in the context of what we're doing in the speedrun because they're trying to heal him, and he still has the Bone Mail equipped.
Yeah. It's supposed to be a really sad scene, but the speedrun is just making it funny, honestly.
So now Noctis can unleash
the
isekai.
tentacles. That time I isekai and reverse isekai'd only to die in a random cave.
There you have it.
Phoenix downing my zombie self.
That one day I was a zombie and I got resurrected, but it went wrong.
That time my teammates killed me even more.
Yeah.
Anyway, since there's just a really long cutscene until Kara gets herself together after her grandpa is dead, and I don't know where her parents are, we have time for some donations if you have any.
Zephyric donated $5. Where do the residents of Spyra learn to summon Ians? The University.
Whoop.
I don't get it because I don't play Spyro.
No, Spira.
Oh, Spyro. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, now I get it.
The university. Text-to-speech is a bit rough.
Right, I heard that as Spyro.
Yeah, yeah. Keep them.
High Earth donated $5. Kupo Kupo.
Kupo.
Yeah, this is just sad music playing.
But we luckily we get an immediate replacement for Galoof in the form of Kara, who inherits all of her grandpa's abilities.
And has actually better stats.
Yeah, she has higher speed stat, I believe.
Makes sense because she's not old.
Right?
I'm saying this as a person who turned 30 this year, and I do feel I do feel it. Certainly.
Because your speed stat dropped.
Significantly since I have back pain issues. Not just since this year, but they have dropped. Thanks to that. So yeah, now that we have the dragon back, we're not gonna fly as fast as Kara did.
Yep, but we're gonna head over to Xdeath's castle.
Yeah. Now that Galoof is dead and replaced.
So this is the last part of the run where step count is potentially really important because there are going to be two specific encounters that we want to get during the dungeon. to set up some later stuff.
Oh, you still capture these?
Yeah, we still do dragon capturing. Yeah.
I thought that was routed out as well, but I guess I was wrong. Yeah. See, for some reason we're not zoomed in fast like Kara is. Kinda sad, honestly. Yeah, so thanks to the sacrifice of Caesar and Krusty, this wall is still down. We're just setting up some jobs for the actual dungeon, including 2 Beastmasters or Summoners or whatever you want. Yeah, Beastmasters to capture some of the encounters we face. Which has stayed in the route, surprisingly. Again, I know the old route better than this one. And I was pretty sure that was like, if I rerouted, that would have been the first thing I routed out. Honestly.
Well, yeah. There's a boss coming up later. I'm not entirely sure why we do this because again, I don't know actually the mechanics of the game that well, but I assume she just has really high defense or something, so Guild Toss doesn't work all that well. Something.
Yeah, something like that. And also because the attack that you unleash is just like doing max damage anyway.
And we have only 3 characters for that part.
Remember the guy Bart's punched? Well,
right, yeah, he's about to die. But he gives the last of his power to dispel the illusion around Exdeath's castle so we can see its true form and progress further into it.
And Galuf's ghost visits him or something. Which is all, because, yeah. How would this happen?
Ghost. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
It still makes more sense than some of the other Final Fantasy stuff, but yeah, dodgy. He also just disappears when he dies.
Yeah, everyone does in this game.
No, the guy who died at the second crystal just lay in front of the door.
No, he was still dying. He just took a while to die. We didn't see it because the whole castle exploded. Alrighty. So yeah, another really long dungeon here with a bunch of menuing and specific fights that we have to do. So here we go.
Yeah, in this dungeon, we also get down to low HP because there's some lava that we just kind of walk through, which damages us, but can never kill us when we're not in a fight.
Yeah, it's set up for more night tanking.
Yeah.
Right, I just read up why we are using this one for the boss that you're thinking about.
Okay.
Because she's not immune to fire right away.
Okay, but why don't we use Guild Toss?
Because
probably this just does more damage.
Yeah. Well, it would take more turn than just one release, I guess.
Yeah, we've caught 2 of these dragons, which is the encounter we want here. In the old route, you didn't get this specific encounter. I think you got like 2 dragons, and I think you did like an extra dragon later on, so it is a bit different than the other route.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what we used the third dragon
sure
on
anymore.
But yeah, this castle is a bit creepy, as you can see. There's lava and other stuff everywhere, and it's the really annoying screen effect again.
Not for that long this time.
Not for that long this time, and only when we're actually in the lava. So. This castle has several menus because it's so long. And we're duping again.
Yeah, same process as before. We throw an empty slot. And then Since these enemies are really dangerous, we actually need to use Kiss of Blessing, which is a skill that berserks them. So now they can only use physical attacks. And since we've got Lena here with the guard tanking, they now can't hurt us while we do this. We have to throw the empty slot here twice. Don't worry about it. And hopefully we get the correct steal. Okay, thank God.
Wow. I'm actually seeing the dupe being done here for the first time. That's cool.
Yeah.
Let's just do this.
Yeah, so now we have enough items to do the dragon power-up again a lot of the times, so that is pretty much what we're gonna use throughout the rest of the run.
I was thinking about the step right for a second there. So you have to do different things depending on exactly where you stop the bridge. If it's dead center, you have to take an extra step.
Yep.
Basically, we're done duping for this game. And the Maiden Kiss mix that you've just seen that we used on enemies is not the last time you'll see it today.
Oh no, it's gonna have an even more important application at the end.
Yep.
But that encounter there with the dragons, it's a pretty dangerous one. You need to be. I mean, I got a preemptive, so it didn't really matter. But you need to be pretty fast on your inputs before they just destroy you with their strong magics.
Yeah.
So
another reason why we heal Kara to full before the fight.
yeah. So there was a room with just one treasure chest in the middle. If you were to open it, that would be the zombie version of Gilgamesh.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, you fight Gilgamesh there.
Oh no.
We don't need to.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Because X-Death actually threw Gilgamesh into the void, but he's coming back into that treasure chest in the form of a demon.
Cool.
Isn't it? Doesn't he? No, he gets thrown into the void after that fight.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so he's hiding inside the chest and then get thrown. Okay.
Yeah. So we're fighting X-Stuff now. Generic dude in armor, or so it seems. He used Condemn, which is essentially the equivalent of Doom, but we're just powering up our party with Dragon Power, which makes Guild Toss stronger.
Speed Drink, so we can get lots of Guild Tosses in. Guard, to guard against any physical attacks here. And we start Guild Tossing.
Yeah. As you can see, we do a lot of damage.
And we're about to do even more. One more. Now she's going to hit for over 9,000.
Yeah. The quadruple 9.
We still have...
Not quite quad 9.
Not
here,
yet.
but
Okay.
We still have the knight set up. All the rest of our party is essentially in critical HP, so Kara will guard all of them, and as she defended, X-Def will do 0 damage if he attacks her physically, so we're all safe.
Nice.
Nice. Basically,
There
the
we
fight is
go.
over before the music gets going.
And one would think that now X-Death is dead, the run is done.
But no.
But no.
Unfortunately not. Doing well though. This is the end of World 2. At this point, X-Death now successfully merges the two worlds, because what it turns out is that these two worlds were originally one, but they were split in some cataclysmic incident involving some other evil bad guy that we don't actually meet in the story. I think he's a super boss in later versions or something.
Neckcrawl.
Sure. And that also created an entity known as the Void, which X-Death is trying to harness the power of.
Essentially just the plot of Digimon, honestly. You have the digital world and the real world, and the 4 masters are trying to merge them both, so... It is just Digimon. That time, my isekai worlds turned out to be my own world. That time an evil tree merged my isekai life.
Oh.
I'm sure
So many possibilities.
we need longer titles for
Yeah.
there.
Alright, so we've made it back to Tycoon Castle, the place that Lena and Ferris are from.
And everyone's confused because why is there stuff from other worlds? Oh no.
But since the king is dead, they now get their royal responsibilities thrust upon them, even though we really have better things to do.
And we also get to hear for the first time the real name of Faris, which is Cerise.
Oh, Cerise, right. Oh my. Yeah. But as we've established, Faris is a strong, independent woman who needed no man. So just a random dance scene to celebrate the princesses being back or something. And being coronated.
This could be an announcement for FF8, like looking in the distance, being the best boy of the night.
Yeah, true. The best looking guy in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see a similar scene in Final Fantasy VIII tomorrow. Just in slightly better graphic, arguably. Depends on your preference, I guess.
Right, but Hollow and Kara here decide that they should just go deal with the problem themselves.
Someone has to, so... Also, conveniently, even after knowing Faris's real name, we'll still call her Faris.
Yeah.
Unlike
We're not
Garnet.
going to change it now.
No,
It's been
unlike...
3 hours.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You've known someone for 3 hours, you can't suddenly
Change
their name. No, that's just weird.
Unlike Garnet in Final Fantasy IX, who... How long into the run changed her name?
Like an hour.
Okay, that's not too bad then. Oh no, she's shoving birds that can only end poorly for her. Because he already killed someone.
And he'll do it again.
Yes. The murder spree won't stop.
So at this point, we realize that the area we are in is where we left our pet Chocobo Boko near the start of the run. You know, that guy that I immediately messed my step count on that we don't talk about. Anyway, there he is.
Rock.
He's there, but something changed?
Oh.
And he has a wife now.
Yeah, you've been gone so long that...
3 hours.
Yeah.
So which one's Mrzwanzig and which one is you?
I'm not a bird. There's your
Are you
answer.
Also, she's
sure?
pregnant, so...
Ah.
The chocobo,
Premonitory.
not me. Just to clarify that. Before any rumors surface.
And this is how it started.
Yeah, okay, Boko just leaves his pregnant wife behind.
Yeah.
As Laguna did. But we'll get to that tomorrow. Unforgivable, really. Even if you have to save the world so your child can even be born, it's still unforgivable. Because they could just walk. Don't be lazy.
But this way we don't get encounters.
Yes, but... What is more important? A baby chocobo or you getting encounters?
I mean, you want me to answer that?
Don't be cruel.
Alright. And we fell into a trap.
As we do.
As we do.
Now that Boko is never gonna see his child. Ever.
And here's our good friend the Antlion. Well, not so much. I don't think he uses Sandstorm in this one.
Yeah,
I think that's just 9.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, it does. But we hit harder, so it's fine.
Right, excellent. Sonic Wave, move that he tried to use there, I think he missed. that can actually lower your level. So if he did that on Kara there, we would have to use another dragon power. But all is well. And we're trapped in here still, but all of a sudden a rope comes down. So we try to get on it, but...
Someone is playing with it.
They're just like, take this, take this.
And then we have an idea.
Yeah,
We're gonna use a step stool here, and... Oh. Still no dice. And it turns out that we're just being messed with by Ferris, who really didn't care for this whole princess business and just came after us.
Who would have thought, given her prior actions?
Yeah.
And now the Boko just leaves us, because we left him hanging for 3 hours. Honestly, he should just leave us. We're a bad friend to Boko. First we leave him for 3 hours in like a random cave, and then we come back and we separate him from his wife.
Ferris is actually quite mad that we left her behind.
Rightfully so, honestly. Yeah, but she forgives us if we promise to never do it again. Which we won't, because the run is almost over, but you know. Would be funny if it still somehow ended up happening, because that's basically FF4 in a nutshell, right?
We are still leaving Lena behind, though. We'll see what becomes of her.
The next, Queen Elizabeth II. She's just gonna rule for...
Ever. Forever.
Hundreds of years.
Also, Kara just noted that there was a splinter in her foot. That seems like a really random detail, but it's going to become important and hilarious in a second.
Yeah.
So, we found Guido, the sage turtle.
And he's on his back.
Yeah, I guess the whole energy of the worlds merging kind of messed him up.
But we saved him. And he knows about the worlds being one originally. It tells us about the void. Because he's so old.
Annuo.
Enuo, right, that's the not Necron. Guy who created the void.
Darkness. Sorry, not Kingdom Hearts. The splinter.
Oh, here's the splinter.
Oh yeah, the splinter in Kara's foot was actually Exdeath all along. He disguised himself as a splinter because he's a tree, so he can do that, I guess. And he has, in fact, gained the power of the void and is starting to suck locations and people into it.
Do we know why he's doing the void thing, or is it just for giggles?
He's evil.
Yeah, but why
He's just trying to
is he
seize
evil?
the dimension ruled by the void.
But why?
Evil.
Okay.
Because he probably woke up and chose violence this day.
And he woke up and he saw that the coffee was out. And the other coffee machine was broken, and he was like, this world must cease.
Valid point. Or he got onto some non-spicy chicken nuggets.
Oh yeah.
Might as well be.
If you ever come to Sweden and you order spicy food, do not expect spicy food. You will be disappointed. Especially when you're actually used to spicy food. So Guido is just ramming into Exdeath now.
It turns out he's actually kind of a badass. Because he's 1,000 years old. He's got plenty of time to learn martial arts.
Yeah, and somehow his back is not messing with his agility. Which you'd think after 1,000 years would be more terrible than after my 30 years. But somehow, he's OP.
Yet, unfortunately, we still get blasted off, like Team Rocket.
I wish they voiced FF5 at some point, because I do want to hear like some badass tree voice just going, "Fools!"
With a distorted sound effect.
Yeah. Someone get on that, please.
And it turns out we've been blasted away next to the ancient library, which you'll recall was a dungeon early on in the game. And Guido was like, "Oh, that's where that was."
Convenient.
Um,
For a second, I thought they looked like construction workers, and I was very confused.
And it turns out there's a book here that can tell us about some weapons we can gain to go help us defeat X-Death. Now, at this point, the game is going to force us to get the first of a series of tablets that can help us unlock the legendary weapons. And there's all kinds of side questing you can start doing after that, but, you know, speedrun, so we're not going to do any of it. They force us to do this first one, the Pyramid of Moor. After that, we're just going to go straight for the final dungeon. And we're not even going to use the tablet to unlock any of the legendary weapons. Who needs those when we can just throw money?
Don't forget the menu before the pyramid. I've seen so many speedrunners do that.
I'll make sure.
Yeah, they just tell us where all the tablets are, but we don't care. They kind of look like Edward in FF6, sprite-wise.
Edgar?
Edgar, yeah, sorry. Edward was the FF4 guy. Never mind.
The Spoony Bard.
The annoying harp guy.
Alright, off we go to the Pyramid of Moor, which is my personal least favorite dungeon in the run.
Oh, why? It's so good.
Just remember here real quick. Ferris. Wait, is this correct? Yeah, it should be.
That's the one time we actually do use Bard in the run, I think.
Pause here again, because I think it was supposed to be there. There's a cutscene here that happens, but we can just walk one tile down and walk around the trigger for it, so...
Yeah. Did you save?
I did save.
Okay.
Sure here.
Yeah. So the quicksand stops, so we have to walk through this on our own, kinda.
Right.
Pyramid is guarded by 2 gargoyles, which in casual can also be incredibly annoying, but in the speedrun we just throw money at them.
Alright. Well, we're on step route, so I don't need to worry about this here. So we're just going to set up the combine ability on Ferris, and then we should be good. There it is. Alright. So there are some enemies here that are actually on the overworld that we can dodge around. You can, in theory, get through this part without any. Wow, okay. They just went out of my way. Wow, that normally doesn't happen. You usually just take one of them there. That means I actually have to adjust for that later, but I mean, that's fine.
And here we go again with the poison ticks.
Yeah. Again, we're doing that on purpose.
This is bad. I'm going to reset the room. Ideally, I don't get into any encounters with these guys, but I need them to cooperate a little bit. Okay, that's better. No. Ah. He's being annoying. This room doesn't actually count steps, so it doesn't really matter. I'd really like to avoid getting into an encounter with him. Oh my god. No, this is still bad. Wow, I've never had to try this many times. Oh, wow,
well.
okay, wow.
Yeah, well.
Alright, whatever. Whatever, we're just gonna deal with it. I can't run from this fight, unfortunately. I'm getting really trolled by these guys. It's incredible. These guys are dangerous too. I need to
Yeah.
use this mix to make sure that they can't hit me.
Oh, nice. Didn't turn back this time.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter because he dies here.
Yeah. They are dangerous and really annoying.
Can this guy, like...
Go away.
Thank you.
Nice.
Jesus. Okay. That was awful. Let's do that. At least we have backups for it, right? Yeah, should be all good here.
So yeah, we walked onto the spike tile earlier again to just set up the knight blocking everything and put us in critical HP.
Let's get this black magic here. Let's get the escape command. Mediator, cover, optimize. Alright. Let's see, we did get an encounter, so this should now be the normal tile. I think it is. I think that's the normal tile you get this encounter on. You have to adjust your step route depending on which enemies you run into during this, because getting... Oh, that is off, actually. I think I'm one tile off. Yeah, I'm one off. That might kill the step route here, I think. I'm just gonna hope that I don't get an extra encounter here. If I do, it's whatever. Okay. In that case, I guess it's fixable on the world
Wow.
map.
So we got the tablet, but not for free.
I don't know why I was one off there. It seemed like it should have been correct, but whatever.
Is it the number of times you had to reset the room?
No.
No?
That shouldn't matter.
To come back to one room that it was counted?
It shouldn't matter. I'm not sure.
No, because the door is, I think, counted as an event
Ah,
tile.
okay.
So it shouldn't matter for the step count.
Unless I
Technically.
did something. I don't know. It seems like we're one step behind, but I should be able to fix it on the world map. Anyway, here's Bahamut. Say hi. We're not going to actually see him after this. You can go recruit him to your cause.
Bye-bye. Yeah, it even tells you where to find him, but we're not going there. Because we just throw money at stuff.
Also, hey, it's our old airship. It's
In-
being conveniently washed ashore near where we are. So let's go over there.
The nice thing about this dungeon is you don't have to go back into it, because you're placed on the top, so you don't need to use the escape command.
Alright, so this is the boss that we caught those magic dragons for coming up.
Also, as the cutscene is playing, just a reminder, if we reach 150k during the marathon, Edenal will shave his head. So please donate towards that. All the money goes to Save the Children, a good cause, and every donation will get us to pet the knight. If you want to see Edenal's hair gone, donate. I can pet it too. Pets for Edenal and pets for the Hollow Knight.
And don't forget, if you raise enough money, that petting is not being done afterwards.
At least not with the hair.
So while we left her alone back at the castle, Lena got possessed by one of the monsters of the void.
And the library is gone.
Good thing we went earlier. Bye, Guido. Swallowed by the void, just like in FF8. Depending on some luck, you'll see the void swallowage tomorrow as well.
And the Hiryu sacrifices itself to separate Lena from the monster possessing her.
Yeah, it's very sad because this is like another dead dragon in this game. Rip Sildra and Rip Hiryu.
Alright, this fire is going to do a grand total of not that
Nothing.
much damage, but we just need it as a little bit extra. These dragons are going to do quad nines.
Quite nice.
And then we just needed like an extra hit to finish it off from there. She has like 20,000 or just over.
Yeah. Yeah, this is what was possessing Lena essentially.
There we go. I do hope our step route is correct now. If not, it's not a huge deal. We only have the final dungeon left.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't run into Omega Weapon again.
Yes, we turn you into a thief again.
We're
Seems like it's going fine.
Yeah, I mean we'll find out when
Yeah.
we get our first encounter in the void, I guess.
yeah. I mean, at that point, there's not too much of the run left, so
Mm-hmm.
could be worse.
And now Xdeath really starts going crazy and just sucking everything into the void.
I really like X-Death stream, not gonna lie. This game really went overboard with the big stuff on world map animations that make weird noises. First the meteors, now this. Like, Square Enix just hates headphone users. All these unnamed NPCs disappearing into the void.
Yeah. The town that just got sucked in was Bart's hometown, which makes him real angry. Oh no, I guess it's this one? No, wait. I don't remember exactly. Oh,
That's the Moogle village.
No!
No! Not the Moogle violence. We had enough of that in Lightning Returns.
This is Bart's hometown.
In a forest.
I'm surprised you didn't mention FF13 too, since we throw him
I
quite a lot.
know. It's not in a marathon, so I'm not forced to sit there and watch the Moogle violence happen. And you know, that is another reason why I dislike 13 too. It's too much Moogle violence. Too much Moogle violence. Save the Moogles. We need a charity for that.
And Bart gets so angry that he just flies around the world really fast. Like, is this like a Superman 1 kind of thing where he's trying to turn back time? I'm not entirely sure.
That's how fast the airship is, so it's fine, right? The airship is faster than Kara on Sildra. Not Sildra, Hiryu. They want to calm him down before he breaks the ship. Because that's our only mean of transport now that all the dragons are dead.
Right, before we go to our final dungeon, we're going to do a quick pit stop. It's not even much of a detour, it's basically on the way.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
We need the more money.
Right here is the hidden village of Mirage. And this houses some really powerful equipment we can buy here. So we're going to sell basically all the Dragon Fangs we don't need. I have to be a bit careful because I have to use some extras on that machine head encounter. That should be fine. Let's see. How much money do I have? Oh, I do need a good bit more. Let's see. That should be good, yeah. And we buy 3 running shoes. These give a character that equips it haste, which just means we're going to get tons of turns for all these bosses coming up in the last dungeon, which there's quite a few of.
Yeah, now we get swallowed up by the void on purpose, because we do want to stop the evil tree from sucking the rest of the world into the void.
Alright, final dungeon, here we go. It's a really long one, and there's tons of boss fights.
And one optional one that you shouldn't run into.
There's multiple optional ones,
mean,
actually.
One specific optional
Right,
one.
yeah, sure. I know what you mean.
Yep.
Yes, okay, we are on step right.
Nice.
That is the correct tile.
Saved.
These are all the bosses. We're not going to fight all of them. I think there's 2 of them that we don't fight. They create optional save points when you kill them, which is useful because it's quite a long dungeon, but you know, for the speedrun we don't need that.
Also, unlike other specific Final Fantasy games, FF3, this dungeon does have saves.
Yeah, well, we only get access to 1.
Yeah, which is more than 0.
That's, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Fact.
Quick maths, indeed.
Okay, so there's a ton of extra movement here. Like, this is really kind of ridiculous, but supposedly doing all of this is more optimal than dealing with all the extra encounters you would otherwise get. And there's a little bit more. Some more movement. And now we can head on over. This part of the void, for some reason, is the Mirage Village again. I don't really understand this. Like, it's not like that got sucked into the void yet. It seemed fine.
Maybe
We were just there.
Maybe there was another Mirage Village that we just don't know about that looks the exact same.
Yeah, I don't know if there's lore. All the NPCs are frozen too. It's weird.
It's good that they're frozen because in like I think in FF6 there's like an NPC that just keeps getting in your way in a town and it's obnoxious.
Oh yeah, NPCs in areas where you actually have to worry about step count can be really annoying. There's a ribbon. Alright.
Yeah, ribbons are nice in basically any Final Fantasy game because they protect you from status effects.
Alright, big menu here. You get this. Revive Lena. She's still dead. Alright. Should be all good.
First boss, Calofister.
Once again, Dragon Power, Gill Toss, you know the drill by now.
Yeah, if you have level 5 Doom, she is a multiple of level 5, so she just dies to it. I think.
I think you have to do the level 2 old first.
Yes,
Oh,
I do
yeah.
believe that there's actual setup required for that one.
one of the bosses, though, that you fight here is just a multiple of 5.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, that's the other one. Right. But yeah, in the old route, you would just level 5 do most of these.
And before we killed her there, we used another mix to levitate Lena.
Which is important for an upcoming
boss, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's this.
Do not.
I'm gonna save. Don't worry. The save is right before it.
Yeah. So down here you see Omega Weapon. If you walk into it, you'll have a real bad time.
Yeah, I recently lost a run because he hit me. This time.
Nice.
That's how it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do a little circle. Do another little circle. There we go.
Yeah. So
this is a panda.
yeah, he doesn't look like a panda.
Yeah.
But it is because of character limitations. The actual name of this boss is Apprehender.
Yeah.
But this game has a character limit of 6, so he's just a panda.
He actually kills Kara here, who's,
Yeah.
again, he's covering for our other characters, but no worries. And since he is going to get another attack off, we are going to revive Kara again, so she can tank that as well.
Wow, directly on her.
Nice rug you got there.
Yep, and she is going to be the rug for the rest of the game. We are done with Kara. She's done her job. Well done.
She's following her grandpa's footsteps.
She sure is.
It's especially
Too soon?
well, it's legitimately kind of true because the final cutscene actually depends on which character in your party are KO'd when you beat the final boss.
Yeah.
So it actually changes that she like gets lost in the void at the end.
It's funny.
They all come back in the end, but it changes the way the final cutscenes play out.
It's funny too because the notes specifically say Kara stays dead for the remainder of the game.
Yep. Right, so here we have Catastrophe. This guy is the reason we set up that Levitate on Lena.
Yeah.
He uses a really powerful Earthquake ability that would just one-shot our entire party.
Earthquake doesn't work on floating enemies, so before he uses it, he uses something else. Gravity.
Yeah, so now he's undone that Levitate, because he's smart like that. He knows that he can't hit us, or at least can't hit Lena without it. The problem for him is now he's just going to die before he gets his next attack, so GG.
Yeah. I think when you just did Samson Power, you had to refloat one of your characters. Because every time there is a character afloat, he will always just spam gravity.
Yep.
Because he can never use, like, he never deems it efficient enough to use Earthquake.
Really, if he just did Earthquake on the first move, he would win, because, like, he would kill the rest of our party, and we...
Yeah. Pretty much.
So we did just meet a fan of ours?
Yeah.
Don't forget the setup.
Yep.
And somehow we are being attracted by this throne.
Skill toss. Should be correct.
Yeah. Throne Sama.
Friend Sama.
This is the next boss?
Yeah, I think this is the one that you just level 5 do. And
I think it's the one after.
oh. Right. Okay. It's been a while.
Yeah. So this one also suffers from character limitations. It's not Ali Carnasso, it's Ali Carnassus. So
Yeah.
It should have been an extra S, a U, and a last S.
Yeah.
He turned some of our characters into frogs.
Which doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter.
They can still throw money.
Yeah.
That it?
Nice.
This fight we actually set up Guild Toss on 2 characters because it takes quite a few and has a lot of HP.
Yeah, you're right about the level 15.
Alright, and here we have Twintania. He's really strong, so we're just gonna run away. This is why we had the Bard on Ferris for a little while. 1. We're just gonna wait out 4 of his attacks here.
2.
Ferris can't die. 2. It's very important that I count this correctly. 3. 4, we show. We heal up because he is going to do 1 more attack before we can kill him. And after this point, he is going to invisibly change forms, which has happened just now. And now we can use another death potion, which he's suddenly become vulnerable to. So what happens there is he starts charging a really, really, really powerful move called Giga Flare. It's even casually, that move is incredibly scary. But once he starts charging it, he suddenly gains a bunch of weird weaknesses, including instant death. So there we go.
Because also in the old route, you also just hit and wait it out and then use level 5 Doom, because I think it's like level...
What's level 5, I think?
yeah, a multiple of 5.
Yeah, level 5 Doom works on him, but we don't learn that skill in this, so we just use a Chemist Death Potion.
Yeah. This is the final part of the Void, essentially.
Really neat routing thing here is we still have the hide command set up on Ferris, which if everyone else in your party is dead, actually functions as an escape command.
Yeah.
It's really handy that way. We don't have to reset up escape. That right there should be our last encounter of the run.
Yeah.
So that basically means that the step route has been completed from A to Z.
Told you guys, I had to mess it up once at the start real quick, reset. And now we did it perfectly for the entire run.
Well, with that one weird tile, but...
Yeah, okay, but we didn't get any extra encounters from it, so...
yeah. Did you do the setup?
No, it's after the cutscene.
Okay.
All good.
You're late.
Oh, no. Alright.
Alright, where are we at? Okay.
Not PB.
No, not even close for various reasons, but that's quite good though. We're about to finish up.
Yep.
Yep.
There's X-Death's true form. He's a big tree.
Yes.
There you go. It's gonna suck even more places into the void.
I'm not even lore-wise. I'm not sure why he's a tree.
He's a tree.
He's a tree.
He's a tree.
Yeah. But yeah, this fight, as a casual player, insanely hard because X-Death has 2 forms. The first form is not super hard. The second form actually has 4 different body parts that all do different things and have different ATBs.
Yeah.
And he uses a move, like he uses several dangerous moves. One of them is Grand Cross,
Yep.
which just spams random status effects, including Petrify and so on.
Yeah, it's really rough.
It's rough.
You
but
basically need like ribbons on your party members.
yeah, the good thing is, if you remember earlier, we used a mix where we which we used on the dragons, where we duped the dragon fangs on. And we're gonna do the same thing with X-Diff, because his phase transition is magic. It's counted as a magic for some reason. And we're just gonna use basically Enrage, where he just does physical attacks. He cannot, yeah.
So we're going to lock him into only using physical attacks, and for some reason that also means that the script can't play for him transitioning into his second phase. So we only actually have to deal with the first phase, which is a good thing, because we would need to do some additional setup to really be able to deal with the second phase.
Yeah. If you're doing 4-job Fiesta and you have a Berserker in your party, you're gonna have a terrible time with X-Diff. Like, the most terrible time. And if you're unlucky enough to get 2 Berserkers, yeah, have fun. Because there's different settings you can do for the 4-job Fiesta, which includes a so-called Zerk risk. So any job you could get could just be Berserker.
Right. And
So as far as I can recall, so X-Diff is the only occurrence for a boss to be susceptible to Berserk.
Well, he's not susceptible to it. Chemist is just OP.
Yeah.
It just bypasses resistance.
Yeah. Like, if you used a Berserk spell, if there was a Berserk spell...
Yeah, it wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work, yeah, exactly.
But like, yeah, I can't remember another FF that can enforce the Berserk status onto a final boss without using the spell.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. At least I can't think of one either.
Yeah.
We're still frogs, by the way, so that's...
Yep, the frogs are going to take it home.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're abusing the whole Night Guard again. Ferris is our knight, everything else we just have a chemist that will buff up Lena with Dragon Power, and Lena will just start guild tossing at some point.
Now we apply Kiss of Blessing. And now we guard. And now we're invincible. Now the fight is essentially over.
Now it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Now it's
So be
just
ready.
a matter of keep guarding, keep guild tossing. He literally cannot hurt us at this point.
Yep.
And like we explained, as soon as we kill the first phase, the transition to the second phase will not occur, and the fight will just end, and we'll be done. I think it's after this next guild toss.
Should be. Yep.
Time.
Whoop!
Sub 350. Not bad at all.
Hey, good job. And that's a valid attempt for the relay.
Yeah, there you go. Maelstrom. There you go. There's my last practice run done.
Yeah, no, that went actually better than I expected. Mostly, like, we live together, and I've seen his last couple of runs, and they've died in stupid ways. So yeah, this was actually, I think, one of your better runs lately.
Yeah.
In terms of actual, like,
actually finishing and not having to do weird stuff. No, yeah, all good.
Yeah.
All right. That's it for this. Hope you all enjoyed.
Yeah.
Upcoming Final Fantasy 13 by Kairun, who's
sitting somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, stay tuned for that and enjoy the rest of the marathon. Have a good one, everybody.